Raiders! Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever! You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Bolitnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we trust will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 189 of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live from Murph's Fan Cave. That's right, we're going to talk about all things Raiders tonight. Some good, some worse. Wait, I was going to say some not so good, and then some worse, because that's what... It's rough times right now being a Raider fan after this last week. But you know what? I always say, don't depend on the team to find your what am I trying to say here, Jeff? Because I just said I always said it, and then now here I'm stumbling on my words. Don't depend on the team to bring you joy as a fan. Depend on Raider Nation, because Raider Nation will never let you down. So anyways, appreciate everyone joining us here for episode number 189. Thank you to everybody that is joining us in the chat. And thank you to all of you that are joining us on the Facebooks, now on the Periscopes, as the kids say.
Hey.
And then also the Twitch. So my kids, my boys, my two teenage boys, after the show last week, and we were talking about the different platforms we're going to start broadcasting to, said, Dad, you need to be on Twitch. I'm like, I thought that was like a gaming thing. And they're like, nah, man, you can find anything on Twitch nowadays. So apparently you can find live podcasts. So we are now on the Twitch. So we're
twitching.
We're twitching, man. We're all over the dang place, man. And so it's tons and tons of fun. So appreciate everybody joining us on any of those platforms. Welcome to Raiders Fan Radio. My name is Murph. I'm the host of this journey, as we call it, a lighter side journey for fans of the dark side. And we're going to talk a lot about the Raiders. We're going to talk a lot of fun stuff about being a Raider fan. And we're going to hear from so many of you later on tonight in the Sea of Fans mailbag, we call it, where we hear all of your voicemails. We read your emails, and we've also got a guest. So tonight, that it'll be at the 7:30 mark Eastern time. We're going to welcome in Raider Cody, a buddy of ours.
Yeah,
and so we're going to welcome Raider Cody to the show
for sure.
And we're going to talk a little bit about where we were last weekend and where we're going tomorrow night. So it should be a lot of fun. But before we get into any of that, I would be remiss if I didn't welcome in my best friend, Swag Jeff.
Yeah. I missed you last week.
I know, man. The southern annex of the western annex of the Murph's Fan Cave desk was empty.
Yeah.
But now here you are. You've populated it again.
I'm back.
Looking good, and you're all white. You got your old school Woodson jersey on there, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, all white everything.
Right on.
Yeah, for sure. And last week I was on baby duty. My
Yes,
wife,
you were.
I surprised my wife with a vacation to Florida with her two best friends, and so I was like knee deep in baby poop. yeah. So it was all good.
Well, good deal. Well, you did good dadding, Swaggo.
Well,
so,
yeah.
Glad to have you back, of course, as always here in the Fan Cave. So it's kind of gone to crap since the last time we saw you. You know, it went from like ooh wow, we took an L to the Falcons, like ouch, like okay, and then we squeaked out the miracle against the Jets, and then went against the Colts. So anyway, it's been rough, but we got
a little too reminiscent of 2019.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay.
And we'll get into that.
We'll get into all that. So yeah, but hey, so many of your best friends each and every week populate the chat on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Who's in there tonight?
Yeah, we got Raider Flash, Raider Roo, who was stoked about the news this week that was released. Pirate 1975, my best friend in the whole world besides you, Michelle Sweat. Tider Raider, Big Easy, Ron the Mater Raider, Raider Critique. When the Universe Speaks, Mojo.
What's up, Mojo?
Yeah. Matthew Mangus is in there. Stacy Ruff's in there. We got the whole crew.
Right on, man. Well, appreciate all of you joining us for this episode number 189 of Raiders Fan Radio. So a little bit of housekeeping real quick before we jump into our episode number. A couple things for you. So one of the reasons that we're really thankful to welcome Cody on the show tonight is we have now joined with the Blue Wire podcast team. And so this will be our first episode broadcast on Blue Wire, and which is, of course, the network that Cody is on.
This is the first one, huh?
This is the first one. And
All
also,
right.
Lindsey Rhodes is on there. Like it's great. It's a great network. It's nice to be part of a bigger team. And so we're thankful to be part of the Blue Wire team. And again, this will be the first show on there. So please subscribe to the podcast. If even if you watch us just on the YouTube, like, still subscribe to the podcast. Like, it's
why not?
Murph's Fan Cave. Subscribe to it. Just mark it played. Just get the episode, mark it played, and it really will help us out. Helps with our ratings. Anytime you can review the show,
yes,
please do that on Apple Podcasts. Hit a 5-star if you'd be so kind.
Yes,
and let us know what you think.
And you know
of the
what
show.
you can do. So one of the podcasts that I listen to, and shout out to my boy Will Compton.
No free shout outs.
Jeff, and who's the third guy?
No free shout outs, but shout out to Will Compton, man. I was texting him the other day. He's so awesome, man. He's just a cool dude.
He's like your sixth best friend.
Yeah. I have so many best friends. I have so many best friends, and he's one of them. But what they tell their listeners to do is if you actually go and you unsubscribe and then resubscribe on the podcast, it counts as a new subscribe. And so Apple, they figured out a way to cheat the system.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that, do that.
Hey, this is Raider Nation around here, man. What was the sign that Matt Millen famously said was hanging up inside the Coliseum? It was rule number 1: cheating is encouraged. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. Yeah, absolutely. So
you're exactly right.
Hey, we'll take it, man. Anything that we can do to promote the show, because the reason that we want to promote the show is not to inflate our egos, not because we're trying to make money, but because we're going to do some good with all of your support. So we've gotten this. Dude, we got $100 super chat last week.
That was unbelievable.
Insane. But so we've gotten these amazing donations from Raider Nation via the super chat, via direct donations to this foundation that myself and Raider Cody started. We call it the One Nation Foundation. And you can make a direct donation at onenationfoundation.net. And any of the money that we raise here ever with Raiders Fan Radio, 100% of that money is going to go into the foundation. So what does the One Nation Foundation do? We give to Raiders-related charities. So we give to the Bolitnikoff Foundation. We give to Stabler XOXO Foundation. We gave to Kenny King Jr.'s mom to help with her cancer battle. We've got the Greater Youth Sports Association coming up. We've got a lot of foundations and entities that we give to. So when you subscribe, when you throw us, a donation, should you be so kind, any of that stuff all helps us fund One Nation Foundation, which goes out and does good in Raider charity. So again, we don't even want your money, but I want your thumbs up.
Well, yeah.
Hit a subscribe. That don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you nothing to hit the subscribe, write a review. So please, if you're in a position to give, great. But if not, just support the show like you always amazingly do.
Yes.
Continue that momentum, please. And then just by that, from advertising dollars and whatnot, we'll still be generating money to give away. So thank you so much to all of you. One more thing on that note. In the show notes on the YouTubes, it's got an Amazon Smile link. For those of you that don't know what Amazon Smile is, well, being that the One Nation Foundation is it's a 501(c) charity set up, and so we were able to register with Amazon, and there's a link there. Now, if you have Amazon on your toolbar on your browser, take our link and plug it in there instead. And then what happens is every time you go to the Amazon, it doesn't cost you anything extra. You just shop like you always shop, but then we get a kickback. Amazon gives us money. It goes straight to the foundation. It doesn't even come to me. It just goes straight to the foundation. So please do that. Please support us in that way. Just copy that link, paste it into your browser. You could do it on your phone. Like, you can plug it onto your phone. It's just One Nation Foundation. You can even search for One Nation Foundation under Amazon Smile. And again, it doesn't it's like 0.5%. But considering that Amazon sells $17 million worth of merchandise an hour,
yeah,
Like
they got a lot of Raider swag on there too.
A lot of Raider swag. So hook us up, please, if you wouldn't mind, and that will help us out and help the One Nation Foundation out a ton. All right, as I mentioned, welcome into all the YouTube viewers, Facebook viewers, Twitter viewers, Twitch viewers.
Yes,
we're all over the place, man. We're nationwide, as the kids call it, Jeff. So this is episode number 189. I'm going to stop selling you something now. This is episode number 189 of Raiders Fan Radio, and my buddy Swag Jeff, he ties back the episode number for each. Wait, I'm going to let you say it because you do it better than I do. You go.
So each and every week, Swag Jeff from Raiders Fan Radio ties a significant moment in Raider history to our episode number. And this week, we are on episode 189. And we're going to talk about your favorite player in the world.
Ever? Like Kenny Stabler?
Yeah!
Come on!
We're going to talk about Snake, but it's not the highlight or not the stat that we normally talk about. We normally talk about the touchdowns and the Super Bowl wins and all that stuff. He's one of the greatest players to ever suit up the silver and black. He has all kinds of stats and all that stuff, beloved by Raider Nation.
Probably the most beloved, or at least way on the short list.
Yeah. He epitomized a Raider for sure. The commitment to excellence.
Amen.
He was sacked 189 times in silver.
You jackass! That ain't cool, man.
Well, that's the only stat I could find.
What'd you do that for?
Well, it's okay.
Poor Snake, man. Actually, it's funny though. Like, he really didn't take a ton of sacks, considering that the way that offensive line was.
Yeah.
The way that offensive line was constructed. Like, I love the stories that, like, if you go back and watch old, NFL films or whatever, and you hear Shell and Upshaw, who mainly Upshaw was the one that was such a vocal leader of the offense and of the offensive line. But yeah, Dalby, Bueller, these guys were just absolute monsters up there. And but you hear Upshaw.
That's their couple name.
Gosh, I'm such an idiot. So you hear Upshaw talk about. Because him and Shell played next to each other. Like, that's the left side of the line, like literally the best left side of an offensive line in the history of the league. But it's funny because they would have them so well protected that, like, after the game when they were like watching film and stuff, Upshaw would say to Kenny, he'd be like, "Hey, Snake, like, can't you like bounce around or something back there?" Like, because Kenny would just drop back. He was left-handed, so he would just drop back and just sit there.
Yeah,
and just like be looking around. Like, not bouncing, not moving his feet, just standing there.
Yeah.
And Upshaw would be like, "Snake, like, act like you're doing something back there."
Well, if he bounces around too much, he probably barf because all the drinks that he had the night before at the bar.
His knees couldn't take it anyways. But
yeah.
But he was an absolute stud, man. We're poking fun, but he really is. Kenny Stabler is my guy, my all-time favorite player in the history of all of football. And and like what Jeff said was so amazing about Stabler is that he set the tone for what it was to be a Raider.
Yes.
Like him and, there's others, Ben Davidson you could put in there.
Sure.
Of course, you could put in Tatum, which I got my Tatum.
Sure.
Like,
Willie Brown and, all those guys.
Right.
But he kind of, he did. He set the tone. He was
the leader.
He was the first Raidery Raider that we've probably ever had.
He was the leader of the Renegades.
Yeah.
Like, there was no doubt. Ted Hendricks and all those guys, yes, incredibly influential, but it was Kenny was the one that really... he would say maybe Ben Davidson because Ben came before Kenny, but like it's like you're talking 1 and 1A here, like in terms of like crafting the mystique of the Raiders, and really I think Madden too is undersold frequently on his involvement. We celebrate Al all the time, but Madden, man, really drove that
absolutely.
Mystique. All right, man, good stuff there. Good conversation. Let's jump into some show. Let's do some contact information.
All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. Your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us show at RaidersFanRadio.com or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Merv's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit?
Good. So before we jump into anything, thank you to Matthew Menges for a $4.99 donation to the One Nation Foundation, and Ryan Miller, a $5 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
That's awesome,
so thank
man.
you guys very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very, very much, man.
Yeah.
That is super cool, man. We appreciate you. Who else is in the chat room there tonight, Swagger?
Yeah, we got Matthew Menges, obviously, Ryan Miller, Chevy Raider, Kill Jadis, Raiderborn Rico, Raider Flash, Big Easy, Pirate 1975, Ron the Mater Raider, Greg Salas, Raider Flash, QB Jeff is in there.
What's up, QB Jeff?
Raider Cody is in there. Ray Montoya, Daniel Menges. We've got the whole crew. Michelle
that's
Sweat.
awesome.
It's great.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate all of you joining us in the chat. And you can join the best chat room in all of Raider Nation each and every Wednesday by going to youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. Ryan Miller with the donation in there said, "What's up, Murph Swag Jeff? Just started listening to you guys a few weeks ago. Love the show. Wanted to show some Raider love from Kent Island, Maryland."
Right on.
I love it, man. This is one of my favorite things to say, that I'm from the Bay Area originally, carried my Raider fandom out here with me. My best friend Swag Jeff became a Raider fan a few years ago. Here we are relocated to Middle Tennessee. So I'm like a Raider fan, a California Raider fan from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Live now in Middle Tennessee, connected now with a guy that lives in Maryland and is a Raider fan. Like, I love the way, I love the way it all starts to connect, especially when we get real global. Like,
yeah, with Rico and the Canary Islands.
Islands,
you know, Kill Jadis is in Alaska, and you know what I mean? It's so cool.
So cool, man.
We really are worldwide.
Absolutely. Like our buddy Jeff Murphy, man, from Alameda, all-time passing leader for Alameda High School.
Yes.
Relocates out here to Middle Tennessee because he plays for the MTSU Blue Raiders, or played for MTSU. And then we randomly meet him because he opened up an Italian deli or in the backyard.
Know, right?
All right.
Hey.
But anyway, so cool stuff, man. So Raider Nation truly is global. All right, let's jump into some show. So here at the top of the show, we like to give respect. We don't do props. We don't do shout-outs. Nothing wrong with those things, but we like to give a little bit of respect.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so I want to give respect to a Raider.
Oh, okay.
What a shocker. But I want to respect a current Raider, because the NFL every year does a phenomenal job of celebrating the good deeds that some players do, and every team nominates an individual. And once upon a time, Jason Witten was nominated for this award. I'm talking about the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
Yes.
And then they pick one of the 32 teams. Well, Jason Witten won it outright.
Yes.
And that's why he wears the little gold Walter Payton logo on his jersey. Well, the Raiders this year have nominated Alec Ingold, who is... Look, we love our 45 fullbacks around here, man.
Yeah, we do.
Alec Ingold is I mean, the poor guy's been banged up a little bit here lately, but such a great player for the Raiders. And
yeah, he only broke all of his ribs and kept playing. You know?
I know, right? And he's been an amazing ambassador for the Raiders, and so we are proud to share the news, if you hadn't heard with you, that he has been the Raiders nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year. And let's check in with our buddy, Alec Ingold.
That's Waller in motion. Carr want to throw for it, and a wide-open Alec Ingold, the fullback, for the touchdown. And he's the answer to the trivia question.
Getting this award nomination is like, you show up to work every single day, and to kind of be nominated by your organization, your team, it means the world. Just kind of having those people think that about you. Being able to take a leap of faith in trying to start something new, right? I think going with the 3 Square fundraiser with teammates, not really knowing what that was looking like, and that was received well. COVID-19, food insecurities, that was one good thing. And then you go over to Adopt US Kids and you start a partnership with them, raising awareness, and that's well received. And then you do a Mindset Monday video every single Monday, and that's well received. I think being able to kind of reach out in all these different areas has been steps in the right direction, but it's obviously just a start. You have to always keep in mind of that one kid or that one person that's going to reach your message. And that's kind of been the mindset through everything, was if you want people to be the best version of themselves, if you want to truly make a community reach its potential and just feel good about itself, get momentum moving forward, whatever you want to call it, I think it has to start and it has to finish with that person, that one person taking a deep dive, looking in the mirror and trying to be better. And I think that has really been the mindset. That's been the mission. That's been the message, the main message underlying everything.
It's Denzel. Let's go, baby. Come on. Let's go, big fellas. Let's go, big fellas. Come on, Clee. Let's go, baby. Come on. Yeah, Cap. Let's go, Cap. Yes, sir, Cap.
Just being a part of such a close-knit family, being a part of, being adopted, right? I think I've been able to reach in and see from my teammates a lot of similarities where I can find inspiration. So when I can take the inspiration I find in this workplace and I can take it and I can move it into the platform that the NFL has given me, the Raiders have given me, and I can find different places where people can relate to me on a real level and they can really see who I am and they can see that in themselves, I think that's where we can find inspiration. And, I find inspiration in my parents. I find inspiration in my teachers, my coaches, but it's listening for that inspiration. It's looking at those opportunities in the face and going and getting them. I think that's where it's really started. That's where it's going to finish. And I'm really excited to see what's ahead.
Dude, talk about a top-notch human being right there,
what a good
man.
dude, man.
Man, it's such a narrative around the Raiders in the Mike Mayock, John Gruden era. Seems more in the Mayock era even than John. The character, man. Character is such a huge part of the intentionality around draft and acquisition of players. And I mean, you just hear it right there. You hear it from him. And I didn't know he was adopted. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Aspect. And so, what a cool story and, of inspiration and just that's awesome stuff, man. Like that, those are the things that here's what I'll tell you, Raider Nation, is that, look, this has been a rough stretch here this, past few games. And we got a rough stretch coming up. I was rooting for the Browns as hard as I was rooting for the Raiders the other night. You know what I mean? It's not been pretty here lately, and it's going to be nothing but a challenge going forward. But don't let the on-field performance of the team rob you of pride of being a Raider fan, because whether it's guys like this or guys like Derek that are, preaching and opening churches in the off season, I know that, look, I get it. Wins are a big deal. That's why we're all into this, because we're all competitive and we want the team. But don't lose your Raider fandom in it. Let your Raider fandom root in something other than the scoreboard. I guess that's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I don't want I'm not apologizing for them. I'm not being oh, it's okay. We can just accept it because, they're nice guys. No, I don't mean that. Kenny Stabler and Derek Carr could not be more polar opposites of one another.
Yes.
But what I'm saying though is that don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of the fact that, look, I'm not going to stop doing this radio show with my best friend and my uncle because the team sucks. No, this is what. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. Being a Raider fan and being a part of Raider Nation is a lot more than just rooting for a football team. It's the community, it's the family, it's being able to wear a shield on your hat every single day and just be proud. It's the feel-good stories that you hear from Alec Ingold, and yes, Derek Carr opening up churches and all that stuff. Yes, we want to see on-field performance because it gives us a little bit more pride to, wear that shield and all that. But you know what? At the end of the day, you loved the 4-12 Raiders just as much as you love the Super Bowl winning Raider. You know what I mean? The Raiders are the Raiders. Yes, You're exactly right. And, and this is family. This is what it's all about.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was sulking on my couch on Sunday. It was a rough game. You know what I mean? It's not easy. I'm not trying to pretend it's, I don't get dinged up every Sunday when they come up short, but my fandom doesn't waver. That.
Correct.
It's, it's tattooed on my arm. It's evident in my, it's just part, like you said, wearing a
75% of my closet.
Is that all?
Yeah.
I'd be willing to venture a guess that
It might be more.
You're rocking more like an 80-plus percentile.
Yeah,
there,
yeah. Especially I've gained weight, so that's about all I can wear now is my new Raider swag.
Now you got skinny stuff, too, so now you're waiting to look forward to get back into that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so good stuff there, man. So appreciate Alec Ingold. Congratulations on your nomination, and hopefully he'll get the overall NFL nomination and be awarded at the NFL honors this season. So, all right, Swag Jeff, let's get into some hit Max. You got Max?
I got Max right here.
Max. We love Max around here.
Yeah.
Big Max. Big Max fans.
Hey, Raider Nation, this is Max Crosby from the Oakland Raiders.
And goes down, and Max Crosby, who forced a fumble last week.
You're listening to Murph, Mosh, and Swag Jeff on Raiders Fan Radio. Thank you so much. Just win, baby.
Let's listen to something that Patrick Claiborne likes.
Oh.
Patrick Claiborne with NFL Network here. Hey, folks, I know 3 things you might like. Do you like football? Do you like the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you like listening to things? I'll add a 4th. Do you like swag?
Yeah, we do.
Well, here we got Swag Jeff, Murph, Uncle Mosh. This is Raiders Fan Radio.
Ooh, hey. All right, Raider Nation. Appreciate you joining us here for episode number 189 of Raiders Fan Radio.
Well, yeah.
And let's see here. So I'm going to try to, let's see if I can get my buddy Raider Cody in here now. Let's see all right, let me try this here. All right, we tested this stuff before look at I keep doing that. We tested this stuff before the show started, and then now I can't get it to work. So,
oh my gosh,
Jeff, why don't you carry us, please?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got a bunch of people in the chat. Michelle Sweating there, Coach Davis, Chevy Silver Raider, Chevy Raider, Raiderborn Rico, Max Berman, Tider Raider, Raider Flash, Desired Silver, and shout out to all the new folks that are in here. You know, Ryan Miller, only started listening a few weeks ago. Who else we got in there that I don't recognize? Lencho, Raider Godzilla. Who else? There was a couple more that were up here. But thanks to the new listeners, Ivan the Great. You guys make the show what it is, and it's an awesome thing. So thank you all very much. Shane Street is in there. Thank you so much. So where are we at, Murph?
Keep going.
Oh.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, so
there's poor Cody at work, man. We're putting him out.
We're not gonna. We don't need to show that.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What's up, Cody? Welcome to the show, Raider Cody.
Up?
I don't know why it's not coming up, man. We got it's the. All right.
I dig the glasses there, Cody.
Those are my safety glasses. See,
I like it.
The non-Raider Cody, the normal Cody, is a conventional machinist. So
absolutely, yeah. You look kind of like Will.i.am in those glasses.
I look like I'm thinking really hard.
You really are. You really are. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm, doing okay. I'm a little stressed out given the short week, all the changes, everything going on here. But you know what, dude? Family is happy and healthy, and that's all I can really, that's all I can really think about or
You're
care
exactly
about right
right.
now, so everything's good.
You're exactly right. So we're gonna be talking a little bit about the Colts game, as much as we might not want to.
What game?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on now.
I think we got. I think we're gonna.
Can you see my ugly sweater?
Hey, there. Okay, now
you're way zoomed in.
Yeah,
what'd you do there?
Look at this. Look at nothing but the most professional of organizations around here.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, look at this. Now what? Now I'm gonna do this here, and whoops, not that one. Watch this. Here we go. Let's make him embiggen him. There he is. Welcome to Raiders Fan Radio, Raider Cody.
Sir. Yes, sir.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man,
I love the Christmas sweater, man.
Thanks. And even let's see here. I got a switch on it here, and it.
Oh, dude!
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That is epic.
That's money, dude. I love it.
So good.
That is so good. Well, hey, Cody, appreciate you you jumping in here and joining us for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio. At the top of the show, we kind of announced that we have now joined with the Blue Wire team, and
so we're like officially fam now.
Yeah, man.
As if we weren't already.
Right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us here tonight, man. And so happy to be part of the Blue Wire team. And I really, we got to know each other really last year and now have collaborated on not only a bunch of shows, but in this foundation and all this stuff. So just become a huge part of what we do here at Raiders Fan Radio. So thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Of course, man. Right now, it's another link in our chain, right? We're family, I guess. We're tied together through this chain. Now we got too many links hooked together. But I like to think of our relationship and what we're doing now, kind of hopefully similar to what the Raiders are doing. Little trial, little tribulation, and this is what comes out of it, right? Because about a year ago, we were at each other's necks, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, we became friends crazy. Because Mojo cussed you.
Yeah, right? I'm sitting in a drive-through of it was our local Mexican restaurant down the street. I'm sitting in a drive-through, and I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, someone just told me that this guy is like chewing me out. I was like, you want to listen? She's like, well, of course, yeah. It's just she wants to hear me kind of get a little, get
well, yeah,
too. It gives her some satisfaction. So yeah, we listened to it. And I'm like, man, are you serious? And I was more upset. I'm like, I've always heard about Murph, and I've heard his show and I've seen his stuff around. I love his man cave. Got to make things right. And sure enough, here we are. Got a foundation going. We're on the network together. We've collaborated on live shows. It's amazing, man. So thank you guys for being semi-understanding of everything going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Man, it's in this podcast game, man, we're all colleagues. We're not competitors, except for that one guy.
That one.
But no, man, it's what it's all about, man.
That guy's getting roasted, too, on the Twitter.
Gosh, I know. Yeah. So anyway, it's great stuff, and so glad to be a partner and glad to be a collaborator and become good friends. So we appreciate you, Cody. And all right, but listen, the Raider Nation doesn't want to hear us sit here and rhapsodize about how cool each other is. They want to hear your takes on this freaking game that happened. So let's kind of set the tone this way, okay? Good Morning Football, we talk about it around here all the time. But we're big fans of Kyle Brandt. We're big fans of that show. And Kyle has kind of had the Raiders back for the majority of this season. Until now this week, he's kind of starting to waver a little bit. So let's go check in with the Good Morning Football crew. And then, Cody, I want to hear your response to these comments.
Rivers winning the Super Bowl, a great story. Raiders winning a playoff game, a fairy tale.
Oh,
I'm dry heaving over here about the Raiders. It's so classic. Like, it is perfect Las Vegas symmetry. You get excited.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Vegas. You know what? Let's go for 4 nights. Let's go for 5 nights.
No
sleep.
And then, you wake up after the second night, you're like,
48-hour rule.
Please, can we get on an earlier flight? Can we do? We reached that point with Las Vegas where you're like, you're dehydrated, you're broke, you have a headache, you didn't hook up last night. It's just, you're like, can we go home? I want off. I want off.
So worse off, you did hook up.
Yeah, or you did. I'm just very frustrated because we were at the table, we're getting comped, and we're hooking up with everybody. Like, it was a party 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then that terrible Falcons game. That inside job by which they won the Jets game. And then, this. I think this was the biggest Raiders game in 4 years. And they 44-27. Get me on my boarding group C. Give me my air sickness bag and some ginger ale. And just get me the hell home. I'm very disappointed.
And they were up.
Just a little bread to soak it up.
Yeah.
Just some bread.
I was up too, and then I doubled down.
And then
He's right. Aguilar has that touchdown. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
14-10. Here come the Raiders.
It's always the tease before the letdown.
It was the Kenny Moore pick, which we didn't even show in the highlight. That was what really turned
Derek Carr threw a big pick. Really? Don't say?
Know,
wow.
All right, Cody, what do you think, man? KB with a little bit of, we'll call it harsh criticism, but very real, and he kind of feeling let down, man. What do you think?
Well, Kyle, welcome to Raider Nation. We deal with this all the time, okay? So don't act like this is something weird, and we should feel bad for you, Kyle, because this is, like I said, this is normal for us. And look, I get it, that the hangover, whatever. What happens? Okay, you wake up, you go party, and you're drinking, and you're doing all this stuff. You wake up that next morning with this hangover that Kyle supposedly has, and what do you say? I'm never drinking again. And then what do? You go drinking again.
Yeah,
so here we are. I'm hoping we're going to be, that Raiders team that, Kyle, you can say you got this hangover and you're tired of partying with us and all this stuff. And then you're going to go right back again, and we're going to, fire this thing up, hopefully, these final 3 games. Because now we're in a must-win situation. All this other stuff I've been saying in the last couple weeks, and I'm waiting for it to finally happen. hopefully now this is where it, comes to fruition on Thursday Night Football. We go and beat a pretty good Chargers team. We're really banged up. So if we can come away with a win, I'm going to feel really good about it. And you can kind of start erasing all those other things as long as we stay in this playoff hunt. So Kyle, I get it, man. Your head might hurt a little bit. You might be thirsty, but you're going to do it again. That's kind of my attitude. And, enjoy the ride. This is, I don't feel bad for you, buddy.
This is what we go through, man. We go through this all the time, don't we? And it's interesting, man. Like, so here we've got this 3-0 stretch that we're facing, and the confidence is there. You hear it from the team, and these are very winnable games. I agree with you that, like, the Chargers are going to be a tough team, and especially the way that we're banged up. I think we got 4 of our defensive starters are out. It's Arnett, Abram, Farrell, and Morrow are all out for this game upcoming, not to mention Ruggs is out. So, like, it's not going to be an easy task for us, but I love the fact that the Raiders are confident in going into this game. Let's check in with Derek Carr. Let's see what he has to say about the Raiders' chances of going 3-0 here to close it out.
I spend so much time here in this building. I spend so much time trying to do everything I can for this organization to help us win. And I want more than anything, for our fans to see us in the playoffs. I want them to see us, to be able to enjoy that and to be able to win some games and do things and make that a reoccurring theme around here. And so, I guess to say the least, it has. I've used it. I guess I've been a little less or a little more short-fused, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I guess the expectation and the demand is what it is, and we're going to hold it. I'm going to hold people to that standard as long as I have breath in my lungs, because I think we're capable of it.
I dig the sentiment there from Derek. He's talking about, that Raider fans deserve it. We heard the similar comments this week from Hunter Renfrow. He's like, we want to do this for Raider Nation. He also he didn't necessarily apologize for being more fiery, but he kind of led to the idea that, like, I got a short fuse right now. Like, I like that. I like the fiery Derek Carr.
It's what we've wanted. It's what we've wanted from him for a long time.
Like, it worked for freaking Gannon and Gruden. Why wouldn't it work for Carr and Gruden, right?
Right.
What do you think, Cody?
Man, I can't wait to the day that we're finally Raider Nation isn't debating over
Amen, dude.
Derek Carr. It's crazy because it's hard seeing, because I know he's at his breaking point, because he has that same mentality. You don't usually get this from a player, but he has the same mentality that Raider Nation does, that, he's really tied into this. He doesn't see it as a job. He doesn't see it as a place where he gets fed up, he can leave no matter what's going on. I mean, he's all in on it. And there's still been this weird narrative that Derek's got like a bad relationship or gets upset with Raider fans on Twitter and things like that. But all in all, I think he's just more upset that he's making us upset. You know what I mean? It's kind of just that weird reaction. He doesn't really know how to handle it, because that's how I'm a people person. And if I feel like I'm upsetting somebody, it could just bring out like weird sides of me. And it's not me. It's not you. It's just, I hate that we're not having a good relationship, because I want a good relationship. And I think that's how he sits with the fan base right now. And I don't know. I like what he's brought this year, because it's been a little bit different, a little bit more of a I don't care, kind of thing. I'm gonna do my thing. Hearing the dad voice comments. The dad voice thing is funny, because I've developed a dad voice over the last 3.5 years.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I almost have carried it over now. Once I've learned that, I kind of, even my coworkers, I'm like sunning them. I'm kind of like, I'm like dadding them. So I kind of see it as a similar situation. And that's kind of where you take over as a leader. If you can do it respectfully and lay down the law and get out there and tell them what you want, and you're not going to take anything less, then that's where you start seeing more results. And as long as things go well, and I mean, if they can flip this thing back around and get some more wins, I think that's what was working for them before. Some of the leaders on this team, like Derek Carr, are getting out there and getting on these guys. But whenever it's producing wins, it pays off, and these guys stay bought into it. Now, this last few weeks has been weird, and I don't know what your guys' thoughts on it. I guess I'll kind of flip a question over to both of you. Hearing like the younger players on our team, and like the character being down, the morale being down, or maybe they're just not fully bought in and being like immature locker room. We've heard it from Greg Olsen, things like that. Is there cause for concern with that? Because I feel like Mike Mayock, for the most part, has been drafting high character guys, right? I'm a big Mike Mayock fan, but this is where I want to start seeing like those results that, hey, we've been drafting high character players, and here's the proof, because we're able to go down in a slump, win these final 3 games, and keep, the morale boosted in the locker room.
Yeah, I think that I think that Paul Guenther. I think Paul Guenther lost the locker room, man. I really do, yeah. And I think it really showed on the field. I think he lost his defense. We have really talented defenders, and but it's up to the defensive coordinator to put him in position to win. And he clearly wasn't the guy. One of the worst defenses in the league and stuff, but we've got the talent. So I think he lost the locker room, and I think he lost it like a little while ago. I think he's been on, kind of iffy with the players and stuff like that for maybe even 2 full seasons now. I don't know, or a season and a half. But yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see now with a new face. Gruden said, we needed something different. We need a change in leadership, a change of voice on that defense, and whether Marinelli's the long-term solution or not, or we go out and Twitter's all over trying to get Wade Phillips and all kinds of stuff like that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yes, I think that a change needed to be made, and I'm glad that it was made. You obviously you hate to see anybody in no matter what profession lose their job, but but for this team, that was what was needed, and so I think we're going to see the defense really bounce back this week, just because I feel like it's just a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Sometimes the best thing for you to do is just hit the damn reset button.
Amen.
And and I think that's what we're going to see here, and we're going to see players. It's going to be interesting to see. Now, what version of Corey Littleton are we going to see? Are we going to see the guy that we saw all season where he's like, the biggest freaking free agent bust? Or are we going to see the guy that, is picking off Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? Which version of him are we going to see? So it's going to be really interesting. And, I like the move, obviously.
Absolutely. And to speak to the character, Cody, on your question about, I think that, I tell Mike, speaking of dad voice, I tell my kids all the time, like, your character is not defined by the mistakes you make. You're defined by what you do in response to that. So, look, has Corey Littleton had a challenging year? Absolutely. But now what does he do about it? You know what I mean? I think those are the things that are going to show up. And I think that by hitting the reset button, getting, because we hear all kinds of stories, right, about all kinds of conflicts that have been going on in the locker room, all kinds of, like, the disgruntled defender. And we've seen it publicly. We've seen players taking to Twitter and whatnot. And so I think that it's important for, for the Raiders to take advantage of this opportunity, for a guy like Marinelli to give them the ability to rectify, those mistakes. Because look, the team, look at just the run defense alone, the last 2 weeks allowed 60 rushes for 406 yards and 4 touchdowns. Look, granted, I get it that coaching has a big part to play in all this, but also, like, these players got to take accountability for some of these things as well. And then here's the thing that really, and I think us as fans too, we can be sensitive to this too, Cody, because when you look at what the Raiders have ranked under their last 3 full-time defensive coordinators, so we're talking Jason Tarver, Ken Norton Jr., and then now Paul Guenther. Under Tarver, 32nd in points allowed, 25th in yards per play, 32nd in passer rating, 31st in takeaways. Ken Norton Jr., 27th in points, 29th in yards per play, 24th in takeaway or in rating, 13th in takeaways because we had Khalil Mack back then. And then Paul Guenther, 32nd in points allowed, 31st in yards per play, 29th overall quarterback rating, and 29th in takeaways. Like, Lord have mercy, like, we haven't had a freaking defense in, I don't know, since 2002. Like, unbelievable, right?
It's like we got to a point where our defense couldn't get any worse, and then Paul Guenther took it and was like, watch this.
Oh, my dear. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely. And I want to give, actually, real quick, a shout out to the chat. I don't know if you guys noticed John Gruden in the chat. Now, this John Gruden, some people might be a little skeptical if this is really John Gruden. Now, John Gruden hopped in my chat post-game after the Colts game and told me that he has relieved Paul Guenther of his duties. And I have zero doubt that this is the real John Gruden in our chat. So
we have John Gruden in our chat?
Gruden. Yeah,
he's here, man. He's live.
Welcome, Coach. Man, we love you, Coach.
Good stuff, guys. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest string of events, and I know we want to talk more. I'm sure defensive coordinators, and having even Wade Phillips getting in the conversation now is interesting. And the part that I want to know is, of course, Wade Phillips is going to be interested in the Raiders coaching job. Like, come on, he's tail end of his career. It's probably the last job he's going to take as a coach. Oh, sure, twist my arm, go to Las Vegas and coach, right? He needs a job. of course he's going to be interested. Now I want to know if John Gruden's actually interested in Wade Phillips or the approach he takes, because I feel like the only flaw that John has had in his coaching staff is kind of hiring his buddies, I guess you could say.
Yeah, sure.
Paul Gunther was one of those buddies, and I think that's the only reason that we didn't fire him this offseason. He gave him every single last chance he possibly could, and then we just kind of had to cut ties, and I think it's maybe a little too late. This is something I wish we would have did definitely in the offseason, and I think we were really close to that, but you saw those final 4 games last year, and we kind of picked it up on defense. A little credit, I guess you could say, to Will Compton as well, because he came in. He was a great linebacker for us. Kind of flipped our defense around.
Absolutely.
We had a good run D. It was real sound, and I think that's what Marinelli's trying to get us back to. But I'm still not even completely sold on Marinelli. I think Raider fans, this is like something that we have all wired in our head, and I can't figure out why it is. But anytime there's change, we immediately think, even if it was the worst before, just that little bit of change with no proof that it's going to be better, we think it's going to flip everything around and we're going to have the best defense ever. Like we just so happen to think,
sure.
Now we got a defense. We got Rod Marinelli. We got a defense now. We're going to win these last 3 games. I'm not sold, and it's not necessarily Rod Marinelli, but it's definitely the situation that he gets put in. For one, the short week, but even on top of that, how much can you really change in a week of practice? Not very much. So I think he's just forced in a position where he has to stick with the scheme and the things that these guys are already taught for this season. I mean, they've been studying this playbook all season long. I feel like he's pretty much just stuck with it. And now it's just hopefully getting back to the basics of these guys being a little bit more sound, a little bit more, just teammate-like. Because whenever we look at our defense, the things that we're lacking, we want them to be faster. I feel like our guys are stuck in the mud, and that doesn't necessarily mean they need to run faster. They just need to have a better game plan of getting after the ball carrier, especially in the run game. And it's going to make our defense look a lot faster, and hopefully we can tackle better, because we have – I can't even tell you how many Raiders are in the top 50 of most missed tackles this year, which is absurd. So hopefully Marinelli just gets back to the basics of, teaching.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up, man. You can tell who the pro is around here. We appreciate that, Cody, because that's a great segue into some comments that Rod Marinelli made here at this last press conference. Let's check in with Rod.
You got to hit like a Raider. You got to hit like a Raider, and you got to have great tempo and great pursuit and gang tackle. And that takes no talent, none, okay? It's having an attitude and a will to do that. Now, I emphasize, that's who I've been my whole career. And that's why I just kind of keep imparting and just keep driving home with it. But when you play together and you play fast, you know what you're doing, I think you got a chance to create great energy and hopefully create takeaways down the field.
There it is, man. He's all about creating takeaways, putting players in positions to be successful. And, it's just, I think this is an overall mindset change that we can look forward to. And while I agree with you, Cody, he's not going to make any huge wholesale changes on defense, but creativity, we don't, do we have the most talented in terms of athletic ability and whatever talented, defense in the league? No, but we have some very talented players. And I feel like at times, they've been underutilized in terms of what their skill sets are and maybe what some of the things that they can do good. And I feel like that, things like, gang tackling and all the things that he just lined out there. You don't have to be the most talented player in the world to do all that stuff. You just have to execute. You just have to do that stuff. That those aren't things you have to install in the off season and whatnot. Does that make sense? You feel like they're gonna make some creative, not wholesale changes, but more creative changes now with Marinelli.
Yeah, first actually I want to get back and I want to take claim. I'm gonna mark my territory on the hit like a Raider comment, because I'm gonna make that a sound drop. So that's mine.
Damn it!
Take that.
You stole it from us, Cody.
I did. It's not the first thing I've stolen from you either. So.
Damn right.
The hit like a Raider thing is amazing.
That's solid.
That got me fired up. Just to kick off a press conference, I'm like, all right, this is a press conference I want to see from our defensive coordinator. And even though he's 71 years old, for whatever reason, that kind of calm, just assuring voice, the way he talks to you, just kind of makes you feel like you want to play for this guy.
Yes.
He's not like the Ken Norton Jr. type, right? He's not like the get in your face, like the dude should be on the football field type defensive coordinator. He's definitely like sensei, and that's kind of cool. And hopefully it's just getting back to being patient and the way he talks. Hopefully that translates, because I honestly feel like his style of talking and teaching is exactly what our defense is missing in play, and that's being patient, being cool, calm, and collected. And I feel like we got Kwiatkowski's been phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but our linebackers and even Jonathan Abram and some of our guys coming in making tackles or just trying to crash on run defense are just so impatient, and it's like watching U6. If any AYSO people out there, it's like watching U6 soccer games where they're all just chasing the ball. And they change directions, and everybody's like, half of them are delayed, and then they start going, and it's just a constant trail of chasing the ball carrier. That's how I felt like our defense has been, instead of focusing on, look, I know the ball carrier isn't going this direction now, but I'm going to fill this gap anyways in case he does. And more times than not this season, that there's been gaps left open all over the freaking place, and it's been driving me nuts. And one guy I'll give credit to also is Darren Carr, because he's a defensive coach, although high school level, he's won a couple state championships in high school football. He's defensive minded, and just to kind of like understand the fundamentals of maybe what our defense is missing in the run game, and even seeing the injuries to Damon Arnett, right? So you see Damon Arnett, you see Jonathan Abram, you see a lot of our secondary getting hurt, right? So why is that? It just seems like our defensive line and everything is
Joyner's getting hurt every game.
Yeah.
Literally every game.
Delegated to our secondary. It's getting to our defensive backs, the run game. If you watch a lot of our defensive ends, they almost play inside of the tackle, or they play lined up with them. Now you go back and you watch like a Khalil Mack, some of the, like what we've had in the past. Khalil Mack was always like 2 steps out wide, always being able to contain, always to stop the runner from bouncing outside. So many times this runner is able to bounce outside on us, and who does that leave up to hit? We got Damon Arnett, who's got to take down Frank Gore. You see even Trayvon Mullen kind of getting hurt on the sideline. You're relying on Jonathan Abram to come down 10 yards off the line of scrimmage and make a tackle. LaMarcus Joyner in the slot obviously is going to be there quite a bit. So it's seeing things like that and hoping we just finally fix it and spread out and do our job, and hopefully let as Darren calls them, our squareheads, our linebackers, let them make the tackles, right?
Absolutely, too, and I think there's probably something to be said there too, because once one of the things that we've struggled with is containing the runs to the outside too, right? So once those guys get out, once they turn that corner, man, then it's like you're saying, man, they're head up with a guy that's probably undersized compared to what they are, and it's leading to a lot of this, and I'm gonna give props to a guy named Charles Adams, one of our listeners, sent me this Facebook message this week. He said, "Hell yeah, our defense finally went from being rated PG to rated R." And that's that's cool, right?
Nice.
Yeah, going from Paul Gunther to Rod Marinelli. And, Marinelli's an old school guy, man. And I'm with you. I kind of like the calming presence that he's going to bring. And I think the only thing well, obviously there's a lot of things I'd like to see different, but I think one of the things that was sad about the delayed change is something that, you mentioned, Cody, this probably had been coming for a hot minute, but, Kansas City game bought him some time.
The Cleveland game
bought him some time, which looks like a great win now for us, right? But losing Buckner in the offseason, man, do you feel that, okay, because the criticism of Marinelli is, well, we went from, this high sack production in 19 to now it's dropped off because Buckner's gone. Does a position coach, now I know that position coaches, like when we talk to our buddy Pete Koch, a former Raider, he talks about that's your guy, your head coach, whatnot. You have a relationship with those people, but it's more your position coach has that's the developmental things. That's where the mechanics are learned. That's where the habits get formed and all that. Do you think that did losing Buckner, was it I don't, you know where I'm going with this? I don't even know what the question I have.
No, let me pick it up.
Please do.
And it's almost to where, you're not blaming the position coach for not getting sacks or not bringing blitzes or this package looking weird or a stunt that I saw against the freaking Colts, man, where he went after this guy. It was like a 4-man rush, and all 4 guys were within a 6-foot area. It was ridiculous. They're shoulder to shoulder, and I don't even know how this even ended up happening. I put that more on Gunther, but just the teaching the techniques and stuff. I feel like Gunther was the better guy for that. Now, Marinelli's still in the same role. It's funny. He came into Dallas the same way he's coming in for the Raiders right now. He went into Dallas. His first year in Dallas, he was the defensive line coach. And then whenever he took over as defensive coordinator, he was still technically head of the defensive line duties. And he's always had a pretty good reputation for getting after the quarterback. Of course, Dallas has had some pretty good pass rushers. At one point they had a really good defensive line there for a 2 or 3 year stretch. So that has a lot to do with it. But I think Buckner, man, just the idea of having Buckner and Marinelli right now on the same staff would be amazing, because I've even heard as far as like Max Crosby in the offseason basically saying, hey, coaches aren't doing enough for me. I need to go out and I need to get some technique help. So I feel like that it speaks volumes. So Buckner, great coach. I feel like he was more than just the Hard Knocks star, right?
Yes,
he's known for that big conversation, because those type of talks, they get in their heads. I feel like that's real leadership, taking accountability, getting on top of them, kind of that dad voice, right? He was sunning all of them. He literally probably had like a dozen children in the room at that time, the way he was talking to them. and that's what they need. So, man, it hurts. It definitely hurts, because I would say probably our favorite position coach last year, and this happens to us every time we fall in love with somebody. It's almost like the Raiders, whenever they're watching a player or a coach or something on their team, we're like in a movie. The favorite character always dies in the movie. So it's like, that's how it is with Raider fans watching their coaches or players. Every time something happens, we fall in love with somebody. Khalil Mack, he's gone. He's traded. We start to love Amari Cooper. He gives up. He's gone. Crabtree's like the dude. And then he, gets released. Marquette King was like the hot commodity for Raider Nation for a long time. And boom, he's gone. We get into these things, and then they're like just, killed off the movie. And Buckner was one of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's definitely it's left a void, man. There's no doubt. But hey, listen, we know in Rod we trust, man, for these last 3 games. So the Raiders got to win 3 games. I think we're all confident that while it's going to be a challenge, because just look, taking care of the Chargers when we're all beat up, going 2 Mile High. Like, I know we've kind of had the Broncos number, but like they're kind of ticking back up now. Like all of a sudden they're getting a little good again. You know what I mean? So It's going to be a challenge for us to go 3-0, but now we all have to depend on the Ravens to lose. Now, like, I don't want to be thankful for COVID protocol, because I don't wish any illness on anybody, and I hope all those guys on the Ravens get completely healthy. But like, remember a couple weeks ago when Des Bryant got pulled out of the game because he had the COVID? Well, now every other wide receiver, he's the only one they got. Like, now he's the only Ravens wide receiver that's going to be active. So maybe that dings up the Ravens a little bit enough to where they can lose a game, because who do they got? They got the Bengals, they got the Giants, they got
Jaguars.
And then the come on, man. Like, it's not looking really good for them to lose a game. But Cody, I know what your fandom heart says. What does your brain tell you? What's your football brain tell you? If we go 3-0, we got a shot, or is it draft season?
My football brain is telling me to take a nap, because it's been a long football season, first of all. Talk about the up. Gosh, even last year, it trickles over. We can't just have an easy season. And what am I? The fact I even said that right now, like, I expect anything different is beyond me. Just like every game, every season has to come down to the wire. And at some point, Murph, we talked earlier in the week, and I don't care what it takes. I still feel like, until the whistle blows on the season, I feel like there's a chance. One loss. This Giants defense, look, don't get me wrong, it's the Giants, and they've got this bad reputation for a while. But the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've been easily a top 10, maybe top 5 defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So maybe that's all it takes. Maybe they game plan away. All you got to do is stop Lamar Jackson, and
that's it.
I mean, gosh, the dude can go take a 30-minute poop and still win a football game, so it's going to be really hard to accomplish that. But, man, actually, side note, can you guys – I think he pooped. I don't know. That was just me. I don't know. Everyone says cramps. I've heard this whole story, the Paul Pierce thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see. There's a part of me, and then he tells doctors, "Hey, wrap up my arm," like
Yeah. I think so too. I think that there's certainly a controversy, as Uncle Mosh would say, around that. I think that it's it's widely speculated that he was in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think, Swaggo?
Yeah, he had a turtle head poking out.
You can't be modern day Twitter. You can't take a chance of letting
I know,
that go,
right?
No way, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
No.
goodness. You'd have turds all over his timeline for years.
Hey, he was touching cotton, and that was it,
Yeah,
man.
he
He was
was.
off to the
Yeah,
locker
he
room,
was.
man.
Holy cow.
All right, well, Cody, man, it's been an absolute blast having you in here tonight, man. We definitely got to keep doing this more often. You were so gracious to welcome us for
Oh my gosh, yes.
for the live stream that we did for the Raiders home opener at the Stage Door Casino against the Saints. An amazing game, an amazing night with Raider Nation, and we can't thank you enough for inviting us to be part of that. And so, yeah, and I know we've had you on here for an RFR conversation before, but really thankful to have you on here for the live show. First time we've ever done this. First time we've ever done like a live interview kind of thing, man. So, Raider Nation, I hope that it came across well. And so we appreciate you, man. Appreciate your friendship. Appreciate your collaboration on everything. And take a time, like, you need plugs, but like, you know what I mean? Like take this is the guy who has like 20 times more people watching him than us.
We need to ask him, hey, will you please tweet out this because you're on our show? Can you please help us get followers?
Yeah, but seriously though, like tell everybody because what you do is awesome, man. You're an awesome ambassador for Raider Nation, man. You're the quality of your show, from the video to the audio content, the insider view that you have, the guests that you get on your show, man. You're killing it, Cody. So brag on yourself here for a minute and tell everybody where they can find you.
Dude, guys, I am just having such a good time. It was about maybe a year and a half ago. I felt like I finally kind of turned a page to where I started really kind of getting the hang of things, and podcasting, YouTubing, everything became easier. And then I got back to just genuinely enjoying the Raiders and talking about the Raiders. Like, it almost felt like I wasn't even working anymore. So it's been a blast. Everyone that's tuned in right now, that's live and has listened to my show, I appreciate you guys. Really everything I've done has been built off relationships. And it's definitely been fun collaborating with you guys. And I told you, Murph, this is a fun little segment. I'm honored to be the first like live RFR guest. That it's definitely man, I feel very privileged here, but it's gonna be cool finally. I've talked to you many times. Me and my wife want to get down and visit Nashville here pretty soon. So
Come on, dude,
if not
anytime,
next year,
man.
It'll definitely be by the next. And we'll be down there. We'll be sitting through a whole RFR conversation. And if anyone hasn't listened to my show, RaiderCody.com. I hopefully have everything there. If not, oh well. I try my best. I miss a lot of stuff, but hopefully tune in and every post game, going live and having a good time. And always, I keep the same mentality. It was cool. I sat down. I just got home. I took off work early to make sure I had plenty of time to get ready for this. And listening to you guys talk about even after the losses, right? And this definitely is kind of a dark time that we've been in. We've been in it many times. Always reminding yourself, and it's hard in the heat of the moment. We'll remember in the off season once everything's cleared, no matter how everything finishes, even if it's an ugly finish, we'll forget all of that in the off season. We'll refresh, regroup, get back into it. So I think it's, thinking long term and realizing, hey, we still love our Raider Nation family. We still have a good time. I'm still going to wake up every Sunday, no matter what, and look for a win. We did it before when we were 0-10, right?
Yes.
We did it before, with the Chiefs. It's the same thing, no matter what. So always, step back, take a look at that, and know that there's bigger things. Enjoy your life, and just let's hope that these Raiders pull out some wins. That's all we need, guys.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. Well said, Cody. Well said, man. Well, thank you again for joining us for this episode of Raiders Fan Radio, man. And
cheers to you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to a lot more of these in the future, man, for sure.
See you guys. Shout out to the chat again.
See you, buddy.
See you, bud. All right, there he is, Raider Cody, man.
Oh, my
How cool
gosh.
is that, dude?
He's so awesome.
He's the best, man. So, Cody's become a good friend of ours here at Raiders Fan Radio, and we are very thankful.
Oh, we'd love to have him in Nashville, too.
That would be amazing, dude.
Coming and sitting in the fan cave. He could sit in Uncle Mosh's chair, but he has to leave something for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it be a sandwich or whether it be, a swag or whatever.
How fun would it be? And I don't know if he would do anymore because he doesn't play for the team anymore, but how fun would it be to get Will back in here and Cody at the same time? That'd be a blast.
We can make that happen.
We'd have a freaking blast.
I know a guy that texted Will Compton last night. His name's Swag Jeff. He can make that happen.
He's your seventh best friend.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But Cody and Will are buddies too. So that would be really cool. Anyway, but yes, Cody, absolutely. Whenever you are in Nashville, my man, you always got a home here at the Fan Cave, and so look forward to that. Maybe the Raiders will play the Titans next year, and it'll give us all a good excuse to get together down at Nissan Stadium and start screaming Raiders.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And John Q, $5 donation to the One Nation Foundation. And while we were on with Cody, Franklin83, a $2 donation to the One Nation Foundation.
Thank you, Franklin83.
So thank you so much, guys. It's unbelievable. Every donation means the world to us. This is such a cool foundation that we've started, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. All right, Jeff. Well, hey, enough of us. Let's hear from you, Raider Nation, and let's check in with the Sea of Fans mailbag.
There he is, baiting, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught. He throws. It is.
All right, welcome into the Sea of Fans mailbag. This is where we hear from you, Raider Nation. This is where you can email us at show@RaidersFanRadio.com, or you can call us 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346, and leave us a message. And if we play your message on the air, or if we 3 times, or if we read your email an indefinite amount of times, you could become a made man or a made woman here in Raiders Fan Radio. And that's where we just we like to honor you for being such a big part of the show. So we appreciate you. And so send us stuff. So let's start off tonight. We're going to go to the emails. Again, that is show@RaidersFanRadio.com. And first up, we got Ty the Raider, or as Mosh calls him, Ta-da Raider. Yo, what's up, Murph, Swaggy, and the one and only Uncle Mosh? I hope all is well and everyone is in good health. Buckle up because this is going to be a long one. I typed this email as I eat dinner my wife prepared and watching the end of this Monday night football game. As I drink my root beer out of a wine glass, I sit and think about
Nice.
the woulda, coulda, shouldas. After the Jets game, I was upset. I felt like we got lucky, and I felt we should have blown them out of the water. Then I start thinking about all the games we got screwed on, we got screwed by the refs, or the ball simply didn't roll our way, and I realized I sound like a damn Cowboy fan. I shake it off and appreciate the win because I would be in a terrible mood if we lost. Okay, fast forward a week later, and I know the Colts are a good team, but we got this. I wake up, I go to work knowing I'm getting off at 11 a.m. with enough time to make it home with some chicken wings before the game starts. I had chicken wings too this week. I had Cajun rosemary wings during the game.
What?
Yeah, they were amazing.
Oh my gosh, that sounds bougie. I just had regular buffalo.
No, they weren't bougie at all. I got them from Publix, man, but they were delicious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So kickoff comes around and watching the game. I'm all and I'm at work till someone shows up at 1:45. I pick up my cold wings that I called in at 11 and made it home right at halftime. You know what happens next? I'm pretty sure our defense was on the field more than those 2 birds on the field. I need to ask Josh DeBow how many touchdowns Nevin Lawson gave up this year. A lot. Goodness gracious, Nevin Lawson. Man, he got torched a bunch of this game.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the young man. He's been put in a tough spot, man. Like, here's the thing.
You're stepping in for Arnett and, Joyner and
we're so beat up in a secondary, man.
Yes. Now we signed Darryl Worley back. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And Tack McKinley, they're going to try to get on the field this week too. So
and Vic Beasley is now active too.
Hopefully, well, he was in the game. It was weird seeing him wear 51 after Campo wore that last.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So, anyways, all right, but yeah, and then and Mullen went down a few plays in this game. So look, Nevin Lawson, man, that's just tough. All right. Every time a big play happens, I always look for Lawson with exhaust smoke in his face. I love 24 out there being a heat-seeking missile and all, but he has to realize he's hurting not only himself, but this team as well with all those penalties, along with being a liability in coverage. Gunther will join millions of Americans who are... Please. Gunther will join millions of... Thank you, bro. I thought my thumbs up was enough of an indicator that, I'll take one.
Looking at your finger?
Well, you look at my thumb. It was my thumb, not my finger. Let me show you my finger.
A thumb is a finger.
Let me show you my finger.
Hey,
yeah, hey, Murph. Easy there.
Easy with that.
This
Watts
is
Raider, a $5 donation to the 1 Nation.
Thank you, Watts Raider. You rock, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. 100% of that money goes to the 1 Nation Foundation. Thank you.
Okay, back to the show.
Back to the show after Jeff derailed us.
Just a live look into Murph and I's real friendship.
All right.
Give give me a damn drink, and here's a middle finger for
Here's
you.
a middle finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should see the RFR After Dark version.
Oh,
you guys,
it's so good.
As soon as Mosh retires, I've been saying this for years. As soon as he retires, I'm going to make $1 million on him on YouTube.
Yes.
Because the stuff that you guys don't get to see about Uncle Mosh.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. He's the funniest man that has ever walked the face of the earth. And he has absolutely zero shame and zero reverence for anything.
Yep.
And so, anyways, he's amazing. All right. Where was I at? I don't even know where I'm going. Okay. Back to Title Raider. Gunther will join millions of Americans who are unemployed. And it came later than we thought it would. I believe that win in Alabama bought him some time. Alabama being Kansas City.
Hey.
But the clock struck midnight, and I don't know how the Cinderella reference will work since he's the pumpkin, so I'll just leave it at that. On to the dead batteries, where I'll be trying to recoup some money from the only 2 Charger fans I know exist. Shout out to Greg, who I just beat last minute in the RFR League. Oh, listen to this score. This is the Raiders Fan Radio Fantasy Football League.
Oh, okay.
So Ty the Raider beats Greg 160.5 to 159.28.
Oh, my gosh. Greg.
Oh, we should make Greg. Put that on the list. Put that on the list. Let's make him tonight. We'll make him tonight. We'll do it, Greg. We got you.
If we have time. What time is it now? Almost 7:15 Central. 8:50.
We'll try to squeeze it in. We'll see
if we have time.
Thanks to Mark Andrews the last catch he had. I really hope the Ravens lost, but we're still in the fight. If the Ravens lose one more and we win out and make the playoffs, let's see what we're made of. Win or go home. All love and respect. Ty Ta-da Raider.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, Swaggo. Now it's your turn.
Now it's my turn. Yeah, it's my turn. Yeah.
I give you the short ones.
I love you for that.
Yeah,
I love that about you.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Murph, Mosh, Swag, Jeff, Vinny, and Raider Nation. Another disappointment. This season has pretty much been a mishmash. The Raiders win games when maybe they shouldn't, and don't win games that they probably should. They beat New Orleans at home and KC on the road. And then they lost badly in Atlanta and won on the last-second heroics in Los Angeles and New York. The Raiders have been so bad so long that it's unrealistic to expect a quick turnaround. They're definitely improving, though, and another draft should help. I only hope I lived long enough to see it. Raider Nation.
And he's only 18.
Yeah. Raider Nation forever. Frank from NorCal. Proud made man.
Right on, Frank from NorCal. Appreciate you. Good stuff there from Frank. All right.
Well, yeah.
Swaggo, you know who I got.
Oh. Do we need to hit 30 seconds?
Paul.
Paul, your name Paul?
Paul.
I met him with Paul.
Who?
Paul.
Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Good evening, fellas. Hope you are. Oops, there we go, camera.
Hey, easy.
Sorry, I try to produce and host over here at the same time.
Come on now.
And I got a bartender at the same time, too.
Nah, that was me.
Well, thanks.
You just ordered another damn drink.
Keep my tab going, man. Come on now.
This show has gone off the rails.
I think we're going off the rails. Is what I feel.
My gosh.
Wait till you hear some of these calls we got. And I don't proofread these, so who knows what Paul has to say? Because he's freaking wrecked me here the past few times, man.
My gosh,
he's so dang funny. Okay, evening, fellas. Hope you're all well. I struggled to shake off the pregame nerves all day Sunday. I tried everything: walking, reading, even listening to some Leonard Skinner and Creedence Clearwater Revival couldn't clear my head. I've tried some gentle comedy with Bob Newhart and then some not so gentle comedy with the genius of Richard Pryor, but even he couldn't do the job. The importance of the game was weighing me down. By 2100 GMT, I don't know what that is. So Paul is in Shropshire, England. We joke that he's in Shropshire, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Because he is west of Birmingham, and that's what Mississippi is.
Well, you keep reading that email. I'll look it up.
Okay, so he says 2100 GMT. Because, like, our UK folks, like, they have to watch Raider games in, like, the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so GMT, if it's 7 o'clock, it is 1 o'clock where you and I sit.
1 a.m.?
So, yeah.
Oh, if it's 7 there, it's 1 here. So they're 6 hours ahead.
Yes.
So for a...
Yeah, and my brother just got back from Italy, so I wonder if they're on the same time.
So that's a 9 o'clock p.m. start for them. That's not bad. But but if it's a Sunday night game or a Thursday night game, so the game
they gotta
tomorrow...
wake up, they got to hit the alarm for 4 a.m. or whatever it is.
What's 7 plus 6?
13.
But in time.
1
a.m.?
Yeah.
So they got to watch the game at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And wake up.
This is why we don't...
And then they wake up at 1 a.m. and see the performance that they've seen.
And just be pissed off.
Yeah.
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 Okay. All right. So if you can't tell around here, we love numbers, but we hate math. Okay. Because, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
How about that? That's the ultimate content. Look, if you're tuning into this show for some Raider content, by golly, you've got it. Okay. My dumbass. I can't add 7. What I add? 17 and 6?
No, 7 and 6. You big stupid. You got enough fingers and toes for that.
7 and 6 is 13.
Michelle Sweat says that's a quote, because, yeah.
That's all the content you need right there.
Yeah, why are we Raider fans? Because,
yeah. What insight. That's amazing insight. You can't
we just had Raider Cody on the show and produced maybe the best segment we've ever had. More Raider content, more Raider insight than we've ever had on this show. And then you followed up with, because, yeah. You big stupid ass. Oh my gosh.
My glasses are fogging up. Oh, I know he's talking about, like, yeah, I was on the phone with Darren Carr the other day and he gave me this amazing insight. Like, yeah, Cody gives you this amazing insight. Then you come on here, like, just us two. And yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
You want me to tell you about the Mandalorian? I can speak to that.
I'm behind. Don't say anything.
How behind are you?
Okay, well, I don't want to spoil it for other people.
Well, it's been long enough.
I'm like 1.5 episodes behind.
Okay, so
we were watching one of the episodes and my wife fell asleep last night.
Okay, well, so you know his name is Grogu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hey, I won't spoil it because I'll be sensitive to a week away. This last one, oh my gosh,
is it good?
Oh, bro, yeah. I can't tell you why. I'll just say someone looks good, and I don't mean that in
hey now.
No, I don't mean but it's someone looks really cool. Okay, let me get back to this. Where are we at? Paul. Poor Paul. All right. When it came to the game time, the early stages looked like a shootout was in the cards, and even deep into the second half, it remained too close to call. We never had control of the game at any point, but despite that, there was always that chance that we could win it in the final drive as we did the Jets. Then mistakes by Hunter Renfrow and Jalen Richard, and it got real ugly real fast. Man, that clank off of Richard's hands, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
And that's, you know what I mean? Like, look, all the criticism that's been lobbied at Derek in the offseason.
Yes.
All the conversation that we've had around Derek Carr in the offseason. And, like, now that pick 6 is going to show up in his stats. And, like, we've talked before about, like, you know, you got to consider stats as context. And, like, when you look at the good of his stats, sometimes it's not within the context of the game. But then here's a negative stat, same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, gosh dang it.
Can I interrupt his email for 1 second?
Please do.
Because I meant to bring this up earlier.
Yeah, do it.
You know, I've never had a critique on this guy, ever. Josh Jacobs. Stay off of Twitter and Instagram. Don't be doing that crap.
You didn't like that, did you?
I did not like that at all. You know,
some people
I'm not
are kind of like,
today. Everyone,
whatever.
You know, and at first I thought that. You know, he said, I'm not playing today. I'm not playing today. He damn sure didn't play last week. If you're going to make a post like that, then you better ball out on Sunday. Don't pull that crap and then have 30 rushing yards or whatever the hell he had. Be better, man. Don't stoop down to that level. Don't be that guy.
Come on,
Focus
Jeff.
on the game. Focus on the game and focus on winning. And if you do make a post like that, you better have 200 freaking rushing yards and say, LOL JK or whatever the heck, because he said, fantasy owner's going to be mad. Oh, well, your fantasy team. You know what I mean? Like, dude, don't become that guy.
It was not he was trying to be funny, I hope.
It wasn't damn funny.
It wasn't funny.
It wasn't damn funny, man. We traded a lot away to get your ass. We traded away a 52 to get a 28. Don't pull that crap.
Ooh,
don't do it.
I like the fire, Jeff.
Don't do it.
I'm with you, dude. It didn't sit right after the game.
I didn't like it.
Going into it,
I was like, that's kind of funny, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when he went out there and laid a freaking egg, like the way he has the last 2 weeks, you can't run against the Jets? What are you doing, bro?
Damn.
Come on, man.
Ooh, Jeff.
You're RB1. You're RB1. We're not relying on Booker. Let's get it done.
I like the fire, Jeff.
And he's on my fantasy team, and he screwed me the last 2 weeks. Jackass. I'm still in the playoffs, but come on, man.
But seriously, though, you're right, though. Like, if you're gonna do that stuff, if you're gonna be brash, if you're gonna put yourself out there like that, and you got to back it up. You need to back it up. Okay. Where was I at? Pretty soon.
Sorry, Paul.
I know. Poor Paul. We're butchering his email this week.
His email is going to be 30 minutes long.
I know, right? Pretty soon the game was gone, and all that was left was the TV love affair with the NFL's biggest fraud, Phillip. We won again, honey, so you better get yourself... I'm going to skip that. See, I don't proofread these. Rivers and the flag would be flying on Walton's Mountain again on Sunday night. I didn't think it was possible to hate him more, but I do. I don't want to. Now I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to be negative, but that felt like our playoff chance is gone. I know there are permutations that say we can still make the postseason, but having seen the Ravens win on Monday night with their run in the Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals, I think they'll get the last spot. Hopefully it's just disappointment talking, and listening to everybody on the show, I'll feel more optimistic going into Thursday night. Well, not the two hosts anyways. No, I am optimistic. I'm optimistic that the Raiders can go 3-0, but at this point, it's now out of our control. Like, I think I have every reason in the world to believe in the Raiders for the last 3 games, but the Ravens,
and that's the thing. I hate going into a playoff situation. I love win and we're in. And that was the situation that we were in this past week. Win and we're in. But now it's like win and we have to get some help from some crappy teams like, I don't know. I don't like that.
The Giants.
I want to hold our destiny in our hands.
Absolutely.
I don't want it in, Logan Ryan and the Giants. I don't. I want to win and be in. So now we need help. I hate that.
Now we need help. Let's see. Okay. Hopefully it's just a disappointment. Okay. Not long afterwards, word got around that Paul Gunther had been fired. I'll say up front, I never hated the guy, but it made it really hard to love him and back him. There's too much evidence against him, and there have been too many decisions or occasions where the blame has fallen on him. It was getting increasingly difficult to defend him against the criticism. He can't be surprised, and I personally believe it should have happened earlier in the season. Sunday was most definitely the final straw, and watching us try to stop the Colts running game was embarrassing at times. Amen. Jonathan Taylor is now going to join the ranks of Olandis Gary and Mike Anderson and Jamal Charles and the long list of freaking running backs that had career days against the freaking Raiders. His system always seemed disjointed, speaking of Gunther, and was forever trying to fit players into roles they weren't suited to. As a consequence, the players' strengths were being seen often enough. So Marinelli has the interim job, and we might even see a short-term reaction and transformation in the last few weeks. I don't think we can expect major changes at this point. Gosh, Paul, did you hear what we were going to talk to Cody about? This is great insight. I don't think we can expect major changes at this point, just some refinement here and there. And who knows what Corey Littleton might even get his shirt dirty now. So now the question is, who's the long-term successor? He lists off all the different candidates. I'm going to say this. My vote for long-term successor is Rod Marinelli. Because if the Raiders go 3-0 and the defense balls out, he'll probably get the job next year. So let's all root for that. Now, if it doesn't happen, then let's speculate on Raheem Morris and Lovie Smith and Wade Phillips and all the other names that are coming up. But for today, let's root for freaking Rod Marinelli. I'm pretty sure the rumor mill will continue for a while. But the one name that intrigues me is Matt Patricia. Finally, I got a question for you. I've stolen this from the legendary Kenny Stapler at the Pillaging Podcast. If we finish 8-8 or 9-7, do you see it as progression? Stay safe, RFR family. Love your Raider Nation. His Lordship, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi. Polly Award winner 2019. Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020. BRT Sizzler Scorekeeper, Proud Made Man, and five-time.
Is he 5-time?
Plus one.
5-1.
Winner of the BRT Sizzler Award.
Nice.
Well, I forget that. Well, hit that.
I'm going to hit it.
All right. Do I see it as progression because an 8-8 or 9-7 is better than what we were last year? This season for us, when we did our preseason shows, I called for the Raiders to return to relevance.
Yes.
Okay? We did. We were very relevant. 3 weeks ago, we were a very relevant football team.
Yes.
We were the lead, we weren't the lead wild card, but we were the middle wild card, right? If I remember right off the top of my head. Anyways, whatever. Point being, though, we were very relevant. And if not for the fact that we have the Chiefs in our division, we would be competing for a division title because they're an all-world team at this point. So the Raiders did return to relevance. But if they crap the bed in the last 4 games and fall out of contention and end the season at an 8-8 or 9-7, no, I'm not going to look at that as a success.
Yeah.
Because the relevance was attainable for us, and we didn't get it.
Yep.
So I'm going to consider it, I don't want to call it a flat-out failure, but, like, when you look at, like, speaking of your former fandom, the Titans, okay? How many times did Jeff Fisher finish 8-8? Like, that's, like, the worst thing that you can have for your team because you get, like, a middle draft pick, so you don't even have the opportunity to, like, draft.
Yeah, you're out of the playoffs and you're 16th overall in the draft. And you don't. Yeah, what's the point?
What's the freaking point?
If you're gonna crap the bed. You know, I mean, get a good draft pick. You know,
seriously,
yes.
like, I mean, I'm never going to root for them to lose or tank or anything like that.
Would never do that.
But, like, seriously, like 8-8, 9-7, like, that's not good.
No,
that sucks, man. Because you can't do a lot with it.
Yeah, and last year would we have taken 9-7? Hell yeah, we would have taken that. But we were 7-9 last year. That's how we finished. I mean, yes, you could say 8-8 or 9-7 would be an improvement over last year.
Technically, it's an improvement.
Technically, it is an improvement. But if we crap the bed this year, I mean, it's just like last year. I mean, there's no improvement. Even if we are 9-7, I mean, for us to, I mean, like you said, a few weeks ago, we were riding high, dude. I mean, even after a loss to Kansas City, that's the first time I think that a team that I've rooted for has lost, and I've been more fired up than I had ever been about a team. I mean, we lost a heartbreaker to Kansas City, but freaking balled out. Derek Carr had the game of his life. I mean, just doing amazing things, when we were going shot for shot with the Super Bowl champs.
Yes.
That was badass, man. So win or lose on that one, you had to be proud.
Because they're the best team in football. Like, I don't buy this Pittsburgh crap. Like, they're fool's gold, man. When you look at their schedule,
Juju Smith-Schuster is just a TikTok celebrity guy dancing around on the freaking field. Get the hell out of here, man.
Get out of here. And they beat the Bengals. Like, they beat a bunch of, like, really bad football teams and Jaguars and whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, the Chiefs are the best team in football. And we beat them in their crib, and then we went toe-to-toe with them.
Yes.
The second time around.
And we were 6-4. And, but then, and I didn't like that the announcers, during that Atlanta game, remember how they were this year, remember how they were last year, and then they lost to a crappy team, and then, went 1-3 to 1-4 to finish the season or whatever. I didn't like that, but that's
what happened. We got smoked in Atlanta again. 3 times now. The last 3 times we've been in Atlanta, we've gotten smoked. Carson Palmer throwing pick sixes.
Yes.
Like, it's just, it's ugly.
Now, if we don't make the playoffs, but we're 10-6, that's an improvement.
That you feel a lot better about.
You feel better about. You obviously hate that, if us and the Ravens both win out, I mean, you see it right there. You see the prize. You see what what we wanted at the end of the year was to, I mean, obviously we want the Super Bowl, but our goal was to make the playoffs and, and maybe win a wild card game, something like that. But if you're that close and then you don't come through, I mean, yes, that's disheartening, but 10-6, I mean, that's what we predicted at the beginning of the
we
year.
were
That's
all
what
calling for
you
10
and I were
Yep.
calling for 10-6.
Well,
so, you know,
10-6 is typically get you a pretty good shot at making the playoffs. And I'm going to give you a little bit of positivity before we then turn it over to the callers. So 10-6. Should the Raiders make it to 10-6? Well, if the Dolphins and the Ravens are also 10-6, the Raiders would have a head-to-head versus Miami and a better conference record than Baltimore. Because, again, remember, we got to play Miami. So we would have a better head-to-head against Miami, which is probably our toughest game on the way out.
Yep.
And then we would have a better conference record than Baltimore. So if all three teams are tied at 10-6, we win. We get the playoff spot. So, all hope is not lost.
No, not at all.
We just frickin' need one of these teams to step up, and then, of course, the Raiders got to go and go, run this thing 3-0. All right, let's get into the calls. Let's jump into I would say jump into the Sea of Fans mailbag. We're here.
We've been here.
We've been here. I mean, there's just so much to talk about, Raider Nation. There's so many storylines going. This is like the busiest time. We could do 4-hour shows, frankly.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is just the
We're
busiest.
already an hour and a half in.
We are. Yeah. Okay. So we'll let's jump in because we got a lot of calls to get to. So if you want to call the show, you can call us at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. If we play your voicemail 3 times, then you become a made man or a made woman here on Raiders Fan Radio. And so out of that crew, we got a leader of the crew. We got a captain. We call him the Capo. He is Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider.
Greetings. Is this the RFR pregame show? Longtime listener, faithful caller. And I'd like to dedicate this call to Raider Rue, the prognosticator. You know the reason. Fans, media, writers, anyone who sees football logically can observe that Gunther was the problem. Specifically, for too long, John Gruden didn't really want to see the problem. He was maybe too stubborn to fire his friend. Either way, Raider Nation has had enough. Apparently, so did the Raiders front office. For instance, dear friend and resident malcontent Big Raider trucker sprinkled his pixie poo all over this team weeks ago by saying that they were trash and he was giving up on them. Oh, after that near-apocalyptic loss to the Jets 2 weeks ago, they fired Greg Williams and bless his spirit. Last week, I asked, did they fire the wrong defensive coordinator? Gunther was summarily featured on the hit list. Fast forward to this past Sunday. We watched Paul Gunther and his defense yield 44 points to the Colts plus a whopping 456 total yards of offense. So it comes down to basically a little surprise that Mark Davis put his white patent-leathered shoes down in order to force the hand of Chucky, relieving Gunther of his play-calling duties and his job. But why did he do it? Prior to his hiring to the season of 2018, here's how the defense is finished. 32nd, 24th, and now 28th in total defense. People often associate overreactions with fans and people not thinking rationally, but this is different. Raider Nation had plenty to say after this particular last loss against the fruitful one and his Indianapolis Colts on Twitter. So now Gunther is out. Now what happens? Let us know what your thoughts are and the defensive line and how they handled these particular games leading up into this fourth quarter, as Uncle Mosh so eloquently put it last week of our season. The hashtag Raiders had their 5th game under Paul Gunther with 0 sacks, 0 takeaways, tied for second most since 2018 behind the Bengals 6. The Raiders had 5, count them, 0 sacks, 0 takeaway games in the previous 7 seasons under Gunther, according to Josh DeBow. This team is doing their yearly implosion. Season's over. Davis needs to clean house. Even Lynn Bowden is going to torch the Raiders. Watch and see. At Terrell, 21, 33, 5, 6, 7, 8. Paul Gunther needs to go. The defense needs fresh blood, fresh ideas. Otherwise, this team will never make the playoffs. El Maverick Flowers. It sure looks like Gunther was the fall guy, and the issue was personnel, not the scheme. This just isn't a matter of talent to speak of, but the defensive side of the ball. The Sports Daily. Offense has to play near perfect to win. The lack of talent excuse isn't a thing anymore. Gunther is the problem. and it has to be more than that. 3 years of the same defense, even with better talent, isn't the problem. That's on the coaches. Matt, pulse away. We are the worst defense in the NFL. Damian Lillard. You know, Dame's not exactly wrong. Lillard is the ultimate celebrity Raiders fan, supplanting Ice Cube in my book. While Dame may not be used to seeing the Las Vegas Strip on the telecast, the five-time NBA All-Star is a ride or die for his Raiders, no matter what. But Lillard, you know, also prides himself in keeping it real, even when it comes to calling out his beloved team. And I told myself, I too have been on the record for, the Raiders' questionable draft picks and management of, dubious trades. But, I feel his pain. I take my jabs and barbs. But when the team's wrong, we need to hold them to that standard. If we accept mediocrity, we're going to continue to be a mediocre team. Get over it. Now, according to Mario Tovar, as reported in the Raider Rambler, there are two more prospects that we might want to look at in next year's draft. First round, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame. And how's that for my African? I questioned my African dialect last week, but, I came back strong this week. And second round, we're going to need to look at Aiden Hutchinson at edge out of Michigan. Hutchinson could, provide, some definite uptick, and he's well worth a fly, even though he had a bad twig all of this past season. But I look for him to recuperate because, after all, we've seen what Arden Key can and can't do. The hit list: Tariq Hill, Paul Gunther, Arden Key, Kendall Vickers, Carl Nassib, Kyle Wilbur, Raekwon McMillan, Isaiah Johnson, Keyshawn Nixon, Eric Harris, Dalen Levitt, and Mike Ditka. This goes out to the made men. Rue.
All right, good stuff there from Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider, as always. And
well, yeah.
You know what I always love about Aaron is that he's always got like great takes on like some of the, I don't want to call them obscure, but like some of the players in the draft. Like I watch college football, but I don't like study college football enough. I do as we get into like draft season. And of course, then I watch all the bowl games and all that kind of stuff and the championship series and all that. But Aaron like finds these kind of like, these like nuggets, like these really cool players, and like, you know what I mean? And so I always appreciate that about his call, man. He's always got great insight there, so appreciate him. All right, next up, let's go to our buddy in Jersey. Let's hear from our buddy Rev Raider.
What's going on, Murph? Uncle Maj, Young Swaggo. This is Rev Raider calling from Jersey. Just wanted to give my thoughts on the game, and boy, oh boy, I'll just say this. That hurt my stomach to watch, in the second half. And for those who like to participate in the oral inhalation situation, if the playoffs was the good that you want, the good, man, our defense wanted no smoke. We was definitely turning down that thing. It could come down to a point where you could try to blame the coaches on this one, but when you get ran on like that, it comes to where it's a sense of pride. Are you going to let these dudes keep running down your throat? Are you going to buck up or are you going to man up? And the Raiders' defense sense of pride today, I would say, is the equivalent of somebody slapping their wife in the face. Instead of them doing something about it, they turn to their wife and said, well, what did you do to tick him off? That's basically where they were today, man. And it was just like a house of cards. First then you got Hunter Renfrow fumbling, and then you got Jalen Richard missing a pass, popping it up, and they taking it back for a pick six. It really just hurt my stomach. You know what I'm saying? But it's a quick turnaround. If there's a sour taste in their mouth, the best way to get it out is to go beat up on the Chargers. They coming to the house on Thursday, so make it happen. But the defense got to do something. They got to get right. Offense, they got struggles here and there. Even though Trent Brown is back, they need to divvy it up on how they run the ball, because I noticed that they was trying to run to his side heavy. I guess the other team was expecting it. So why not run to the left a little bit? Get up behind Colton Miller. But that's all I got, man. I'm going to go make some money because at least I can make a positive out of that. Because, oh, my God. I'm going to holler at y'all. Love the show as always. Peace.
All right, appreciate you, Rev Raider, man. He's one of my favorites, man. Good stuff. Good stuff from Rev. All right, Jeff.
Sure.
We might have a little controversy, as Mosh would say. We might have a little controversy brewing around here in the fan cave.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So one of our more frequent and produced, I would say, callers is Kill Jadas.
Yes.
And I only say produced because he does such a great job of, like, he puts so much thought into his calls. And he'll do, like, kind of does skits. And he does, like, all these voices and all these things, right?
Yeah. Macho Man Raider Savage or whatever he called it. Yeah.
Macho Man Raider Savage. Well, we've got a new caller to the show.
Oh.
Apparently, someone, and the caller didn't say this, but apparently he wants to challenge for the Macho title as a caller here on Raiders Fan Radio.
Oh, my gosh.
This is, I believe, Silver Macho Savage.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, to my friends Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. This is Silver Macho Savage, and I'm calling to say nothing means nothing. That's right. Nothing means nothing, and I'm justifiably in a place I'd rather not be in. Coming off back-to-back losses against the Jets and the Colts, yeah. But I'm here to tell you, I want you to listen. The cream always rises to the top, yeah. And let me tell you something right now. Cards stacked against Silver Macho Savage and the Raider Nation. Penalties handed down by the NFL. Changing of the schedules to knock the Raiders out of a primetime TV spot, yeah. And COVID-19, bad stuff, but I'm here to tell you, the cream always rises to the top, yeah. And depending on the recipe, it may take a little time. So let me say this, and let me say it out loud. Let me point to the entire NFL. Silver Macho Savage is not happy with the way things are right now, but the Raiders are the cream of the NFL, and there's no doubt about it. And who do I blame for the fact that the cream hasn't risen yet? Well, let me tell you, there's lots of blame to go around, yeah. And right now, I'm living a nightmare, but coming up, not only is the entire AFC ready to experience a wrecking ball, but one team is squarely in my sights, yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs. We're on our way. And maybe a change in the defensive coordinator position does it, and maybe it doesn't, yeah. But either way, nothing's going to stop us. We've been maligned from the top to the bottom, but just remember, the cream of the crop, nobody does it better. And you heard it from Silver Macho Savage. Dig it!
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
I like the energy, man.
Okay, yeah,
I like the energy.
I dig it. I like it.
Listen, Kill Jadas. I'm just saying, someone might be coming for your belt.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Don't you think, Swaggo?
Yeah,
Kill Jadas is the OG. Like, Kill Jadas's impression is fantastic. And the fact that he has conversations with himself cracks me up. But, like, I like the energy behind Silver Macho Savage. I like the sentiment.
I like it. Kill Jadas does the best Macho Man voice.
He does it great.
It's second to none, man. It's amazing. But Silver Macho Savage, I like it.
I like it, man. Great job. Hey, bring it again, man. So 2 more times. If you call us and we play your message, then you'll become the newest made man.
Macho made man.
Macho made man, absolutely. So I dig it, man. I like the competitive aspect of this, man, that we got multiple Macho Mans going at it.
Like it.
Absolutely. All right, next up, let's go to our buddy, newly crowned made man or recently crowned made man. Let's hear from our buddy, Raider Flash.
All right.
What's up, Raider Nation? This is Raider Flash. And all I want for Christmas is Gunther gone. Yes, Gunther gone. Is Gunther gone? Hell yeah. Don't let the door hit you on the way. Ass on the way out. Get to stepping. Great Christmas present to end this horrible year. Let's keep trucking into the playoffs and get these final wins. We still have a chance, Raider Nation, and hope is a good thing. Just win, baby. Shouts out to Chucky for having a pair of spicy meatballs.
Hey!
And firing Gunther's beep ass. That's the made way.
Yeah, it is.
Business before friendship. Let's get this D right and get in the playoffs. And I'm wishing Raider Nation and everybody a very happy holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep this short. And I'm out. Peace. Raider Flash, one nation, under God. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Raider Flash.
I like it. That was
man.
awesome.
It's good. It's a good call.
Solid call.
Solid
Absolutely.
call. In and out, man. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, we love that.
So in the chat, man, there's so many great folks in the chat. Coach John Gruden is in our chat, Jeff.
Yes, he sure is. He said, "Don't worry, Raider Flash. I have fired Paul Gunther." No worries.
Raider Critique is in there. Watts Raiders in there. The Big Easy. Greg Salas. Killed Jadis. He says, I'm ticked. Matthew Menges. Raiderborn Rico, of course. Chris Adams. Glock Russ is in there. So many of you Big Easy's in there. And I love it. So now the chat is now calling out different wrestlers. So there's like Raider Ric Flair or Raider Hogan or Rock Raider.
Yeah.
I kind of like this because we're wrestling fans.
Yeah.
I kind of like this notion that we're going to start getting people calling us.
Well, they said that I can't remember who said it in the chat. Someone said that Silver Macho Savage and Macho Man Raider Savage is kind of like WWF versus WCW.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Those are the best of times in
Those
wrestling.
are the best. Absolutely. Early 2000s was amazing. Yeah. It's getting AEW is not bad, man. I'm kind of tuned in. I like it. It's cool.
Well, yeah. Our boy Zack Ryder's on it.
Well, yeah,
he's Matt
and
Cardona
Jericho,
now.
Man. Jericho. Jericho's the best. But you know what though? Like wrestling, I'm going to derail our conversation a little bit. I don't get into wrestling as much during football season. Soon as football season's over, then I'm watching Monday Night Raw and I'll watch Dynamite. I'll watch all that stuff.
Well,
but during football season, I can't. I don't have enough room up here for this little pea-brain.
Before I got married, I would sit and watch a 3-hour Monday Night Raw. But now that it's so available on like Facebook and stuff like that, and the Twitter and all that stuff. I mean, I just catch the highlights. I mean, so I follow it still, but I follow it in 3-minute clips versus, a 3-hour show.
Right. Well, I'll tap in about early to mid February.
Yeah.
And then all the run up to WrestleMania. I'm all in.
Oh,
that's
sure.
my favorite. That 3 months or whatever that is.
Yes.
That's a blast.
You watch Elimination Chamber and all that stuff. And
Absolutely.
Then you roll right into WrestleMania.
Yeah. So,
Ron the Mater Raider says that maybe Silver Macho Savage and Kill Jadis are actually just Matthew and Daniel Mangus.
Yes.
It could be.
Amazing.
It could be.
That's amazing. I love it. So Matthew and Daniel Mangus are the two Maid twins.
Yeah.
Here on Raiders Fan Radio. And it's so.
Tyler Raider says instead of Degeneration X, it's just Raider Nation X.
Raider Nation X.
I love it.
Dig it, man.
I love that.
Good stuff, man. All right. Next up, let's go to our buddy. One of your 75 best friends.
Oh, my gosh.
It's Adam Hill.
Adam Hill?
What's up, guys? It's Adam Hill from San Diego. I'll just give you a call, let y'all know I'm a Raiders fan. Regardless whether we win, lose, we just fight through the hard times. Hey, I want y'all to know that was top 5 defense we played against. Our offense, they did their thing. There's a reason why Paul Gunther got fired. I don't know what we're doing, but I wish they put Jonathan Abram in LaMarcus Joyner's role, because I feel like he could roam around the field to be a little more athletic, get in the backfield, make more tackles, because he's too aggressive, and I feel like LaMarcus Joyner, he just ain't big enough, he ain't fast enough. I feel like we should have him at safety. So, our defense definitely is really young. A lot of our players are old and slow, and they're constantly getting injured, or they're young and they just don't got the experience. Us as Raider fans, we just got to keep our head up, understand we got the Thursday night game. I think we're playing against the Chargers, and we got to win. And we got to win the next game. And we got to win the next game.
Come on.
And you know what? We just got to win, baby.
That's
no
it.
No matter what. Okay, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's pretty, if it's ugly, if it's fantastic. Doesn't matter. We just got to win. Just win, baby. Let's go, Raider Nation.
Great job, Adam Hill. Love that,
dude.
Hey, that's why I wore this shirt tonight.
Oh, there you go. That's all we got to do.
That's it right here, Raider Nation. Just win, baby. That's all we got to do,
That's all
man.
we got to do.
All we got to do. Hey, and so I want to shout out the chat a little bit there. I love the wrestling talk that's going on in there. And Michelle says Stone Cold Raider.
Oh.
But here's what I got to say about that. There's only one Stone Cold Raider in this fan cave. Do you remember this?
Oh, dude.
So for those of you on the YouTubes that you can see there, for those of you that are in the audio show, that's me doing Stone Cold. That was when Monster Mash Ken called us out, and he wanted to have a smack off kind of thing. And so between our two podcasts, and so then I went on and we did the whole thing. It was fun. I did the whole Stone Cold thing and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so
my computer just died.
Did it?
Yeah.
You don't need
it's
it.
fine.
Yeah,
It'll be all right.
Yeah, you're good. All right, let's go to next up. We got Raider Critique.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Raider Critique, and yeah, maybe I didn't go over on the Google Voice, but that's what I get for looking at the timer on the Bluetooth of the truck, trying to figure out exactly where the phone call started, and after your recording and all that gets done and over with. So actually, no, you guys have like a minute recording, so at least you know about that.
He kind of
But
sounds
that's
like
not why
Macho
I'm
Man
here.
too.
That's not what I'm calling about. I'm calling about this L that we just took to the Indianapolis Colts, and the L was so bad on the defense that we finally fired Paul Gunther. Good old Forrest Gunther is now pretty much
Forrest Gunther,
taking up 4 or 5 spots in the unemployment line. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but hey, at least he's gone. I don't understand why a lot of people are complaining when it comes to like YouTube podcasters saying, okay, who do we go to next? Why would we do this now? What's the point of doing this? Look, we weren't going to get anything out of him any better than what he has already done. So why are we beating a dead cat? We can't sit there and beat a dead cat. You're just going to get the same result, a dead cat. It was time to move on from that Andy Reid-looking bastard. I don't care who we put in there. Anybody has got to be better than Paul Gunther. We gave up 42 more points, and for the second week in a row, we've given up over 200 yards rushing. Anybody who is wondering, who should we get to fill this position over here, to be our defensive coordinator? Give me Chester Cheetah. Give me Mickey Mouse. Give me Santa Claus. Give me anybody but Paul Gunther. Anyway, like I said before, like I said last phone call was here, hey, thanks for making me a made man, but we are consistent at being inconsistent. And the sooner we all realize this and the sooner that we all complain about this, maybe John Gruden will turn around and fix it. It's Raider Nation for life, guys, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, appreciate a good buddy of ours, Raider Critique, man.
Yeah.
Great takes, man. I love his passion. I love his fire. He's another fellow YouTuber. Hasn't done a video in a hot minute, but I think he's coming back around soon. So check him out, Raider Critique, man.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. A great supporter of our show for a long time now. So we appreciate you. The fact I think he's in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right. I feel like we need theme music for this guy. We got to come. I'll come up with something. We got to come up with some theme music. I like to start playing some he likes the blues. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you hear
some
the blues,
slow jams. Yeah,
little slow jams. You know what I mean? Might be time to retire into that satin robe, turn the lights down.
Yeah, you need to get one of the dimmers for your light switch.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, put a candle right here.
Light some candles. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, a little aromatherapy. Yeah. Pour a glass of whiskey.
Yeah.
We know.
Michelle, tell Lamont to leave the room.
All right, here we go. We're off to the Canary Islands, and it's our buddy, Raider Born Rico.
Hey guys, Raider Born Rico here. So, first of all, let me congratulate with Nicolas Morrow. I've been seeing the progress after progress after progress. It's good to see that somebody want to keep his job as a Raider and as an NFL player in case he have to go. I've been criticizing him in the past, but I've been congratulating him every time I saw some progression. So kudos to Nick Morrow. Now, who can't keep his job, who couldn't keep his job is Paul Gunther, the Bushwhackers. You remember when I say you that him and Gruden were looking like the Bushwhackers. They finally split. I mean, there wasn't time for kisses and hugging, as I say you, but apparently Gruden, it's not easy. It's not easy to fire somebody that you trust, and he tried to fix it. He couldn't fix it. That's the real reason. So that's why we came to this point, and it's something that needs to be done. But listen, I'm not going to celebrate because someone have lost his job. Absolutely, I will never do that. I'm not going to open a bottle of champagne, but I'm going to have just now because I have a terrible throat in this day. So I'm gonna have a shot of whiskey quickly. Okay, and especially cheers anyway. Especially, I'm not gonna celebrate because that means that the system has failed, and this is not good for an organization. Plus, there's a lot. I'm not gonna celebrate because there's a lot of work to do in the offense. I mean, that's not how you prepare for a game like this when the season is on the line, playoffs are on the line, and you're going to prepare for a game in that way. It's not all on Gunther. So, Gruden, check yourself, man, because, I mean, game on the line, fourth quarter, and I saw like four screen pass. I mean, there was something that, I don't know, it just looked like we're throwing away the game at a certain point if we're not scoring 30, that we never do anyway, 30, 40 points in the first quarters. So there's a lot of work that need to be done. Plus, those audibles, let me understand. Are the player understanding those audibles? Because when I'm listening some Mark Davis, Death Star, Tango, Mango, Banana Split Kiwi, you know, I see, oh, that's going to be an audible play, you know, like I'm like that, you know. And then are we sure that the players understand those plays? Because I can imagine Aguilar and Ruggs, like when Carr is like, okay, Mark Davis, Mambo, November, Tango, Kobe, Mamba, and Ruggs is gonna say, well, listen, what does he say? And Aguilar is gonna look at him and he's gonna say, well, just run a slant, you know? Like, are we sure they're gonna understand it? I don't know. But anyway, listen, it ain't over till Andy Reid sings. I still want that playoff spot. So I'm gonna be honest. The Ravens, the Browns, and go Raiders. Let's win against the Chargers. With all that say, I love you all, and I'm out.
Oh, my gosh. Rico, we love you too, man. Oh, he's so good.
So good.
It's so good, man. So the audibles, man, I think a lot of those are dummy calls. Like Peyton, like kind of, and Aaron Rodgers too even. They kind of made that stuff famous where they just start blurting out things. I think that's why when you listen to that, like a lot of the calls are things that Derek's a fan of.
Yeah.
That's why you hear Mamba. That's why you hear Mark Davis.
That's right.
Because they're just like, he's just saying words.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think it means anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But, Rico makes so many great points during his calls, man.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. Like, he's the best, man. So in the chat, Michelle was saying, in response to you about Lamont said he didn't want to leave the room because Rico makes so many good points. And like, that's the thing about Rico's call. Like we poke fun and we have fun with it because he's got the coolest voice in the world. But like, he really does have great takes too, man.
Yes,
like, absolutely. Great stuff.
And the Big Easy in the chat said, he said it's perfect that Rico called in because that's why he watches the show in a hot bubble bath every week. Hey. Easy with that.
You do your thing, man. Whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
Love is love. All right. All right. Next up. I think I killed Jeff on that one. You all right?
You big stupid ass.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got a new caller. It's a caller in the 503.
What's up, guys? Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller. I would have called before, but I got rid of the truck that had the phone number carved in the dashboard. Anyway, I was going to You know, like when Mom said, "Hey, if you don't have nothing nice to say, still say nothing at all." And yeah.
All right. There's a caller, new caller to the show, caller in the 503. Tell us what your name is. We would love to hear from you again. And in fact, I think there's a tease because we do hear from him.
Yeah, we do.
Again here in a minute. But all right, next up, let's go to our buddy in Houston. We call him the Historian. It is Houston Raider Steve.
Houston Raider Steve, you're a mean one, Mr. Rivers. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Rivers. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Rivers. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Rivers. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Rivers. You have termites in your soul. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Rivers. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd pick the seasick crocodile. You're a foul one, Mr. Rivers. You're nasty, wasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Rivers. The three words that best describe you, and as follows, and I quote, stink, stank, stunk. You nauseate me, Mr. Rivers, with the nauseous super nos. You're a crooked jerky jockey and you drive a crooked hoss, Mr. Rivers. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toadstool sandwich with arsenic sauce. Old Man Rivers, Mr. Raider Steve.
We knew it was you, bro.
We knew it was you. I just missed the goodbye.
Goodbye.
I love that. Oh my gosh, man, so funny. So amazing call, Houston Raiders.
Yes,
Steve. And he's
as
singing,
always.
he sings like now most of his calls. And
I know,
amazing.
right?
He's either like as he's incredibly like reverential like takes based on like a historical event.
Yeah.
Or he's singing, get over right that, don't get, or whatever. Like,
yeah. Or he gets like people to say, "Hey, you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio." You know what I mean?
Gosh,
Like,
yeah, he's done that a couple times, huh?
several times, yeah.
Yeah, we got like DeAndre Washington and like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's been so cool. Houston Raiders Steve is the best. Long time caller and listener to the show. All right, one more to get to.
Okay.
Now, for those of you that are in the chat, shout them out first.
Yeah, we got the Big Easy, Raiderborn Rico, Watts Raider, Michelle Sweat, Nathan Rita, Raider Critique, Glocks Ruz, Matthew Mangus, Running Bear, Sam Hain, John Q, Tyrone Graves, Kill Jadis, Stacy Ruff, Big Easy, the whole crew's here.
All right, now speaking of Stacy Ruff Raider, earlier in the chat, he said that was me.
Oh,
so
we called it.
You called it.
I called
you
it.
You called it because when we were doing our pre-show, we were listening to some of the voicemails, and you said, that sounds like Stacy.
Yeah.
And you nailed it. And I was like, I don't know. Is he from Oregon? Because 503 is Oregon.
Yeah.
Well,
it's him.
All right, Stacy. Well,
because he could...
He couldn't do it. Just say it.
Because this call that we're about to play, he talks kind of just like he emails.
All right. Well, and he called.
Just play it.
This is great. So he's been emailing us forever. Is he made?
I think he will be tonight.
He's absolutely.
Because that's his second or third email, and now he's calling.
Oh, no, dude. He's emailed us 10 times.
Is he made?
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm going to look at the list while we're listening to his voicemail.
Okay.
But now, and we might have to make an exception to the rule because, well, whatever. You'll hear it. Here we go. Let's get into our last call of the night. This is a caller from the 503 that happens to be Stacy Ruff Raider.
All right. I've had some coffee, a little breakfast sandwich. Feel a little bit better now. Not much, but a little bit.
Is he calling from a payphone from Vegas
or from inside the Clark County Correctional Facility again?
This is one phone call.
Rumored about signing Gruden. Nice to get a different perspective. You know,
Stacy is
great.
made.
Got all both sides of the story. It wasn't all hype and all booze, and it was perfect. Been listening to you guys ever since. Weekly, religiously. And with Carr, it's got to be Carr. We got to get rid of Carr. This Carr's got to do this. Carr can't do what? Stop. I mean, I think he's throwing like a little bit. He's not throwing great sometimes. But we're going to say get rid of Gunn. Gunn, yes. I've been saying get rid of Gunn. Everybody's saying get rid of Gunn. They also said get rid of Cable. He's doing a lot better now. He's the best offensive line. Stop Mayock. I think he's got the right players. He's got the right position, blah, 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 blah. It all comes down to one thing. As much as we love him, hey, we haven't had a winning season performed since Bo Jackson ripped his leg off and beat the defender off to get the damn touchdown against the Bengals in the AFC Championship back in the 90s. Haven't had a winning season since then, except for one with the fluke. Yeah. So, 10 years. I don't care if it's $1 a year, 10-year contract. What's going to motivate you to do a damn thing? Nothing. You're just going to sit there, kick back, get your $10 million, to say this, I'm saying that, I'm saying this. But if you can't motivate yourself, you got 10 years, you don't have to do a damn thing. That's why we got people sitting around doing nothing. Take some damn years off your contract or something. Get a little motivation in yourself.
Oh, someone's lingering. Someone's lingering.
Gruden, wake up. Your offense is vanilla as hell. And I know it's not him calling, you're calling him. It wasn't even close to what you were back when we had jet sweeps. And you got once a week, you got a jet sweep. You got no crossing routes deep. Jeez, this is why I don't call. I get so irate. I feel like I'm Mikey and Murph here. Just the hell. Maybe we need some Mondays with Mikey and Murph. Get a little bit off the stuff. It's Wednesday. We got a game tomorrow that we may not even freaking win. Oh, man. We just got to do better. And it starts from the coach all the way down. You know, we get the trickle up until it trickles down. You got in the right position? Sure. That's what we got. That's what we got the new DC for. But Gruden, come on! It's time to wake up.
Google Voice. Oh, Stacy!
He was the front runner for the Sizzler too, just because he's so damn funny.
Oh my gosh, it's an amazing. I love it. Michelle Sweat says Stacy is all of us. That's kind of how we feel about this
Stacey
season.
said, I feel like I'm listening to three people having a conversation right now.
That is amazing.
Oh my god.
So good. Stacy, keep calling, dude. You did great, man. We're poking fun at you, but you did an amazing job with your call. Keep those coming. We love your emails, but the voicemails are even better, man. Keep those things coming. Great job. All right, so each and every week, when Uncle Mosh isn't here, Swag Jeff has the duty of assigning the best emailer or caller of the week, and we call it the Sizzler. Swaggo, who you got?
Yeah, so we started the emails with Ty Raider, who said that he had root beer out of a wine glass and wings, and he had sadness watching the game. But congrats, bro, on your win in fantasy football. Then we had Frank from NorCal, who wants to live long enough to see the Raiders be good. And then, of course, we had 1 hour of Paul because of our rants.
I know, right? We kept interrupting Paul. I don't know how you interrupt somebody typing you a letter, but we did it.
Right? Yeah, we did it about 1 million times.
Yes.
But then, of course, we had the Capo kick us off with voicemails. We had Rev Raider, who gave his thoughts on the game. Boy, oh boy, his stomach hurt, and it's time to man up, Raiders.
Yes.
Especially in that run defense. Silver Macho Savage. Nothing means nothing, and cream rises to the top. We had Adam Hill that says, win or lose, he's a Raider fan. And they're must-win games here on out. Just win, baby. Raider Critique, the L hurt. Bye, Gunther. He would rather take Santa Claus over Paul Gunther as the defensive coordinator. Raiderborn Rico, who loves to see Morrow's progress and took a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, he did.
We'd love to see it. Raiderborn Rico also doesn't get the audibles that DC calls, and apparently neither does Ruggs or Aguilar. What else we got here? The caller in the 503 who later revealed himself to be Stacy Rough Raider. He is consistent in his calls.
Yes.
As we can't understand either his emails or his calls. And we love that about you.
We love them both.
And don't stop doing it ever.
Keep them coming.
And then, of course, Houston Raider Steve singing Mr. Rivers. But this week's Raiders Fan Radio Sizzler Award goes to a guy that gives a big shout out to Gruden Spicy Meatballs. It's Raider Flash.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we are here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
I come back, Aguilar, score touchdowns. We need you because Henry Ruggs is out of this game. All right, appreciate everybody. Thank you, Biggies. I'm going to leave you to shout out the chat room. Thank you to all of you that joined us tonight live, youtube.com/Murph's Fan Cave. Everyone in the chat, everyone lurking, everyone that dipped in to check out Raider Cody. Thank you, Raider Cody. Thank you for joining us tonight, man.
Yes.
That was an incredible segment, man. We love you, bro, and come back. We'll have you on again soon. That was definitely a lot of fun. Support the One Nation Foundation in any way that you can. All you got to do is look in the links here for these show notes. There's a million different ways you can support the Raider One Nation Foundation. Please do that. Thank you to all of you. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, rate, review. Anything you can do to help support us here at Raiders Fan Radio, we certainly appreciate it. Swag Jeff, take us home.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone that did donate to the One Nation Foundation. Matthew Mangus, a $4.99 donation. Ryan Miller, $5. Franklin83, $2. John Q, $5. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone that's in the chat. Glocks R Us, Pirate 1975, Killed Jadis, Michelle Sweat, Running Bear, Big Easy, Watts Raider, Franklin83, Raider Flash, congrats on your Sizzlers, bro. Ryan Miller, we got the whole crew in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Raiders Fan Radio, where we take a lighter side journey into the dark side. And on behalf of Murph, Uncle Mosh, who isn't here, I'm Swag Jeff. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. And remember, folks, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Good night, everybody.
Good night, YouTube.
Good night, YouTube. Good night, Facebook. Good night, Periscope. Good night, Twitch. Good night, all y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next week for episode 190.
Beat the Chargers' ass.
Beat the Chargers tomorrow, please. Win. Just win.